All right, hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of Trading Bitcoin with your host Tone Vays, coming to you live from the Bitcoin Standard Conference in Ensenada, Mexico, organized by Ugly Old Goat. And I have again fucked up my stream. Shit. I forgot to. Anyway, it's been too hectic. I didn't tweet it out properly. Is this live? Well, I tweeted it out properly, but I have no idea where it's streaming to. So I think it's working, but I don't know how many are watching because I don't know what the public stream is. Anyway, yeah, I messed up my setup completely. So I don't know what I tweeted out. I asked them not to play music. Anyway, whatever, it's working now. It's working. I just don't know which public link it's streaming into. Well, whatever. Anyway, I'm looking at the charts. I want to go outside. I haven't been able to stream. It's just gorgeous out, but I have not had a chance to stream. There's not going to be any private Q&A this week. I'm going to get back to it next week. It's just too hectic, too busy. There's other activities tomorrow that I'm telling everyone I can't do because I got to work, but we'll see if I can get away with that and actually get some work done because I have to organize the conference in Dubai. So let's go to the charts and see what's going on. So right now I am still in Mexico. I'll be in Mexico several more days. Then I am off to Miami. I might go to St. Louis right before BitBlock Boom. There's an event going on there. They're opening a block, like a Bitcoin center, like a Bitcoin, not center, but like a Bitcoin, I guess, office there for people to come and learn about Bitcoin. I want to come and support. And the stage here is awesome. I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna show that to you. But let's go to I'm already on screen share. So let's just go through the charts and see what's going on. And then I'm gonna try and get some interviews. It's been a great time. Lots of good people here. I'm not sure if it's just been a bit challenging to just keep up with what's going on in the world. And the COVID is getting out of control. They're going to mandate COVID vaccines on every single form of transportation. They're going to actually make it impossible for an unvaccinated person to have any form of life. Anyway, it's bad. Plenty of research there showing how bad how much harm the vaccines are doing, not to mention how they're destroying natural immunity and are only making humans worse. And this research is being grossly censored. Anyone with the ability to critically think and read this stuff before it disappears are the only person that are borderline informed. It's like 1984, but worse. Bitcoin is like the only good thing in the world right now that's happening. And the weekly chart remains bullish. The weekly chart has been bullish. Positive MRI count, broke the Lucid SAR. We are above all three moving averages, two of which are rising, and they are now in their proper order, or at least they will be in 2 weeks. They will be in their proper order. The 7-period moving average is moving up real quick. This is a beautiful candle. This week is very interesting from a daily perspective. From a daily perspective, we are working on a new closing high. I was a little bit concerned yesterday that we were not going to make it that high up at the close today, but make it we did. Might have something to do with the Argentina news about the president. I just saw the article headline. I didn't read the article about Argentina considering legal tender for Bitcoin. Alex, you want to step in? Yeah, well, I'm on a screen share right now. Hard to say hello. Let me just give me like 2 minutes. If you want to grab a chair right next to me. Give me like 3 more minutes. I'm gonna finish up the price stuff, and then we'll get your thoughts on what's going on. We just got off a panel here. Clip that onto something. So this is a very interesting part. So normally I am all over the sell possibility of an MRI top, but not when it looks like this. This is a 4-candle consolidation at the top. This is not how markets top, even short term. And for me, this is very bullish. I would not be selling Bitcoin right now. I would be bullish. We did go up quite a bit since yesterday. I did think that this had a high probability of going down to as low as 42, 43, and then bouncing all the way to 50,000. I now think we're going to be going straight to 50,000. There may be another day of consolidation, maybe 2 days of consolidation, and after that, hey, you guys are welcome to stop in the stream. I'm about to go off screen share. Yeah, we got plenty of audio. I should add like a 4th set of mics. I have the setup, but I've never used it as a 4-mic setup. I always wanted to check if it actually works. So that would be an interesting experiment. I got all these additional mics.
Hey, cool.
Yeah, it's really neat, but I've never actually tested it that it would work. So, oh, you're going to eat? All right, cool. Maybe we'll try it tomorrow then. That was Bitcoin Mechanic. I gotta try to get everyone on stream because everyone's here. I believe this is consolidation. I see this as a very bullish development, even though there is an MRI top. So for those that do trade the MRI, and you can certainly sell the shit out of this MRI top, and you could be proven correct. There are multiple ways to trade it. I am not taking any profit on my GBTC position. I would buy more if I could, but unfortunately, I'm already 100% invested, and I have no other fiat to buy. Not ready to sell that kidney yet because I would never step my foot into a hospital unless like my legs ripped open.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've experienced that.
Well, like some people experience are sitting right next to me. Not that that was funny, but
It was funny, trust me. It was not when it happened.
And so yeah, so unless I'm like bleeding out, you're not gonna find me at a hospital. I don't trust any doctors with anything anymore. I think they're a disgrace to the profession at this point. That's basically my view on doctors. There's like maybe 2% of them are worth a damn at this point. The rest of them need to, I don't know, go drive an Uber. They'll be more productive to society.
The only doctor, actually funny that you mentioned that. So the only doctor I ever knew who actually knew his shit that I would go to, he lost his fucking medical license in Australia for teaching nutrition alongside his medical practice.
Yeah, that's I'm not surprised that Australia you lose your license for teaching nutrition along with medicine. Not surprised.
Fucking maniacs.
Yeah. All right. So gold's rebounding back up. I would still stay away from gold. It's just too weird right now. There are other markets that are way more orderly. Oil looks terrible. This was like a bad sign. Continues lower highs. I don't really have time to talk about all these markets. I continue to be very bullish on the S&P 500. There was a weekly MRI top that has been pretty much ignored at this point. I almost never trade the bullish candle after an MRI top. But if you look at it from a daily perspective, still have a couple of days. Today is Friday, though, so I would not enter the market today, but it's generally more bullish than bearish. And the monthly chart still looks bullish and strong. All right, that is my Bitcoin view. I want to talk to some people around here. We're going to, oh, my calendar. Hold on. I already showed the calendar. Miami, then BitBlock, boom. September is going to be weird. I'm supposed to be in Europe, but Europe is such a communist dictatorship. I really don't want to set my foot in that entire region ever again. But I have some business I got to deal with there. So it's just a big moral dilemma. Yeah, these are all the events I'm going to be at. Also speaking virtually at some. Understanding Bitcoin is going on sale this weekend. There are only 40 to 50 tickets available to this. There will be $500, and plus carnivory dinner will be about 200. Once these 40 tickets sell out, I have no more capacity. This is really more for recording the sessions and making them available for free, of course. Please come out and support. Even with 40 to 50 tickets I could sell at 500, this is still going to lose money. There is actually impossible for this to make money unless I'm selling like $5,000 to $10,000 sponsorships, which is also, I'll do my best. But so please support in any way you can. If you can make it out to Dubai, I would love to sell out all the 50 seats. These are our speakers as of now. I still have to talk to each one of them individually, making sure that everyone's on board with a 50 people event that has actually switched dates to be a few days earlier. The financial summit is a go in Dubai. It's going to be an awesome event for trading. All right, that's it. I'm gonna end the screen share. Let me show you guys the stage. And so the camera follows me and we're wireless, so we can like walk away.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's a wireless mic, wireless camera. Camera's not wireless though. I'm gonna zoom the camera in. Why isn't that working anymore? It's supposed to work. Come on, zoom in. There it is.
Jesus.
All right, camera zoomed in, so we can actually walk away. They'll still hear us, so people can like see the stage.
That's
So
incredible.
the camera is following me, mostly.
Man,
And
Jesus, that's kind of cool.
yeah. So hold on. I'm gonna, yeah. So I want to just turn a laptop so I can see what people are seeing. All right, so that's our stage, guys. Tyler Jenks was on stage with us the whole time. Alice, if you talk, they'll also hear
Right,
you.
I'll follow you.
So you having a good time?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Always. I love abusing people. That's what
Yeah.
I do. That's actually really cool.
Yeah. So
like
the camera, you might be the focal point of the camera right now.
maybe. Wait,
Yeah.
let
So
me.
the camera to you somehow the camera switched to your focus.
Okay,
So the
it likes
camera-
me better.
Yeah.
It's like
We could also be a little too far from it, but
that's cool, man.
but yeah, cool event. We got Juan Gold sitting right there. I got a couple other people that I don't want to dox. And yeah, what are you up to these days, man?
Nomading, traveling, causing trouble to Corona Nazis.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're a menace at the airports, man.
That's what I do. I mean, the thing is, we were saying this on the. We were saying this.
Yeah.
If you have 5 minutes, let me know. I investigate about the medication and everything.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So we're trying to buy up as much ivermectin as we can. So yeah, I'll just take whatever I can legally get across the border without getting arrested. I'll buy it all.
Okay. Yeah, I went to the store and the time they have.
This
2
is
pills
hilarious.
and 4
This is the
pills.
things
That's
that
the
we need
big
to
amounts
put
that
up
they
with.
have. 4 pills.
Just
That's all they
to-
have. So this is
Just
ivermectin.
to,
Yep,
like,
right here.
live normally.
Yeah. There is ivermectin right there. So yeah, so this is they don't have like a bigger version. They don't have like a 6 pill one.
That's the bigger one.
This
But
is
I'm
the
sure
biggest
you can-
one.
You can put 3 or 4 little packages in one box. I'm sure.
Yeah, so they're like really tiny pills of ivermectin. I'm probably gonna. I don't want to take them all out, but yeah. So how many of these packets? How much is one of these packages?
Okay, the lady told me if are available, you can buy whatever amount.
Right, but
you
how
want.
much? How much is this?
How much is? I told her only 100 boxes is 80 pesos. It's around over $4 per box. But she said we can order and the
$4 a
and
box.
the drugs
That's
will be here
that's
by
pretty cheap.
Sunday.
Okay.
Because-
Oh, by Sunday when? Because
but
I'm going back to
Sunday,
Tijuana.
She said that we can pick it up Saturday afternoon, if not Sunday morning. They open the 10 a.m.
Okay.
to 6 p.m.
So that means it's $4 a box.
Uh-huh.
$4 a box. I'll take 50 boxes.
50 boxes.
Yeah.
Okay, because I told her that probably you want 100, 200, or 300. whatever
Boxes?
is the-
I think I'll get arrested at the border.
Okay. But the thing that she said that we have to go and pay in advance or make the order.
Okay, that's fine.
It's fine.
Can
Do you want to come with me or you want to give me the money?
I just give you the money?
Yeah, sure.
Can I get a couple boxes? I'll just give you the money. I'll give you 20. Give
Yeah.
me 5 boxes.
So $200. 50 boxes,
$200, yeah.
200 bucks.
100?
Yep, and 220. I'll give you 20 bucks. 5.
Extra 20.
Okay.
All right, so it's 220.
220. Okay, I will
Perfect.
order all this with that presentation, and we can pick it up Saturday afternoon. We'll be at the ranch but
Can we send someone to pick it all up?
probably.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Okay. For
Okay.
sure.
Do I
I'm
can I
going
this yours? I can keep this.
Yeah, keep that one.
There we go.
This, and I'm going to press the camera.
Yep. All right. So at least we got some ivermectin.
That's hilarious. Everyone just
I
participated.
know you
in
got to go
a-
to Mexico to get like proper medicine to protect your family against COVID. That's what it comes down to.
What a world.
I know.
What a world.
It's insane. All right. Well, at least 500 people got to witness that transaction live. There you go. Ivermectin. Your real solution to a bad cold, basically.
Yeah, well, I mean, the only real solution is you train, you eat good, you get some sunlight, you breathe oxygen. Like that's the only real solution. And then
Yeah, you can lose your medical license for that, apparently.
yeah, apparently. But if you want to be an illegal rebel, go and do that. And then if you really need this stuff, then go for it. I mean, I personally haven't taken anything the whole time, but I mean, maybe it'll come in handy if this thing keeps getting worse. Because do you know what's funny? I love how they're calling it stupid McCormack the other day was like, oh, it's a pandemic of the unvaccinated. It's like, no, it's fucking not.
No, it's a pandemic of the
fucking brain.
The mainstream media manipulated brain. We had so many awesome things to say during that COVID panel. So one of them is Giacomo Zucco when he talked about socializing responsibility. He said on the panel.
I think I said that one.
You said
about I'm not responsible.
No, but he
for
used the term maybe I said it. Just the concept of socialized responsibility is that you are no longer
yes,
responsible
yes.
for your own health. You are responsible for other people's health, but not your own.
But it's only a vague responsibility. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So it's you're not responsible for you, but you're vaguely somehow responsible
for everyone else. Right. You are
but because that's
responsible for
impossible,
right.
It's
right.
So it creates a responsibility vacuum.
Right. And it's it's just straight up socialism. Like if you believe that you need to take the vaccine for other people's benefit, it is literally socialist communist propaganda of you need to do something for the greater good and you don't think about yourself, only think about others, right? I mean, this is like even in an airplane, how many times do they tell you put on your own mask first?
Yes.
Then you put on the mask on your children, right?
Now it's the opposite. Yeah.
Well, there's a reason for that, right? There's a reason for that. You put your own mask on first, like a real mask, like the oxygen one, because the plane is depressurized, right? Like it probably won't save you if there's a crash, but right. But you are responsible for others, but you are no longer responsible for yourself. The government tells you how to be responsible for others. Your responsibility ends. And anyone that tries to force this vaccine onto other people for the benefit of other people, you are contributing to this communism mentality of doing things for others without any regard for yourself.
Yeah, it's perpetuating the lie. Like it literally supports the lie, and that's why I don't have time for people whether they're saying it. Oh, I just don't want to. I just want to be polite, or I'm just doing it. So it's no. And what you're doing is you're supporting the lie.
And we saw this all over the shitcoin space. Like, why aren't you calling out these scammers? I just want to be polite.
Yeah. No. And this is exactly that's part of you actually enable the scammers when you don't call them out.
Right.
That's actually why I first started that's why I liked your content in the early days, because I didn't get into Bitcoin as early as you did. I was 2016 sort of school. And, I remember finding things early on, there was these traders and stuff like that. And I stumbled onto your work and I was like, fuck, I like this guy because he's actually calling out the bullshit. And I respect those kind of people because it requires a person of a particular kind of character to call out a scammer or call out a liar. And that's actually how functional libertarian societies or functional free societies, let's not even call them libertarian. A functional society can only function if the constituents of that society, A, not only don't buy into the lie themselves, but B, actually call out the fraud. If we don't do that, then what happens is, again, you end up getting a responsibility vacuum where some external party has to come and be the regulator to supposedly call out the fraud. And all the regulators do is they create a moat within which they can operate and nobody else can operate. And then we start getting these derangements in society. So it's very important for everybody out there to actually call out the bullshit, to disobey, to not comply. Like, I fucking hate the word compliance these days. Like when I hear it walking through an airport, like I was in Austin airport the other day, it's like, you know, federal mask mandates are in place, failure to comply, you know, well, like, it's like, what kind of a fucking dystopian society are we living in? Like,
Yeah.
listening to that shit, or when I was in Panama, actually, all I could hear in the background was Tocumen Airport cares about your safety. And just every 3 minutes.
Right. It's like you're watching the
like,
movies
what
we were
the
like back from the 80s and even before that. All right, man, let's turn the discussion back to Bitcoin. What are you working on these days? I know you had the Amber project. How's that going?
Very good. So we are still, you know, from the beginning, we were the first Bitcoin only DCA app in the world. Still doing that. Australia is nice and stable now. I mean, we're not as big as the shitcoin casinos because fundamentally speaking, every Tom, Dick, and Harry wants to go and trade shitcoins. So, you know, we're doing well though in Australia. We're about to launch in the US, but we're doing something exciting.
Your company's in Australia. You haven't set foot there in a while,
Not
and I
for
don't
2
think you ever
years.
want to again.
Not again. Not until the entire fucking government system collapses. Until, like, what the fuck else am I going to go back there for? What, to, like, A, support the gulags, or B, live in a gulag? Like, they're both a no for me. So, yeah, Amber's doing well. The next thing that we're working on now is we are going to be building a Bitcoin backed buy now, pay later inside Amber. So that way, if you've got some Bitcoin that you've accumulated over a period of time, and if you're fiat poor, we're starting to partner with merchants where you can actually pay for things. So let's say you'd need to go to a Bitcoin conference, like Tone's conference, and it's $500. You don't want to sell any Bitcoin. You don't want to, you know, you don't, like, you've got $500, but you don't want to dump it all because you might want to buy some Bitcoin. Well, you'll be able to buy the conference. We pay Tone, and then you can pay it off.
Right. So you lock up your Bitcoin, and as that Bitcoin goes up in value, you're paying it off from there.
Well, you don't even have to pay it off from the Bitcoin. You can actually just pay it off with your fiat as you earn it. So let's say you've got a normal job and you've got a regular salary. Instead of, like, so this will allow you to smooth your cash flow for all sorts of things. We're going to do it for travel. We're going to do it.
So you're providing, you know, fully backed credit.
In a sense, yeah.
By Bitcoin.
Correct, in a sense. And now the thing is, the way we're going to work it is, at the moment, for, you know, people to accept payments, like, let's say you make a payment on Expedia or Airbnb, right? Like Airbnb and Expedia, they have to pay MasterCard or some sort of payment process to accept the payment. We actually become the payment processor, and we pay those companies directly, you know, via a SWIFT or local bank transfer, which means we charge the 2 or 3% fee to the merchant, which means you as the consumer don't have an interest rate on this. So if you buy a $500 item like the conference, or if you pay for $2,000 at a you know, for accommodation to stay somewhere, your cost at the end is still going to be $2,000. There will be no interest, but you'll get to pay it off over a period of time, and we're secure knowing that you're going to pay it off because we've got the Bitcoin collateralized. And there'll be a high collateralization ratio. It'll probably be 5 or 10 to 1, something like that to begin with. And as you build a relationship, that's what will happen. But the goal with this thing long term is to enable people to hold more Bitcoin.
We're live streaming. If you want to pull up a chair, people were complaining about, like, me not having a center camera, but the camera follows me as I move. So we have Hillary right here and Motorist Hall. Let me set up a third mic. Let me see if I can hook this up. I have a new setup here. It's always great to test out technology, especially by Tone Vays on a live stream. That's always exciting.
Famous last words.
Yeah. So I need like 3 different converters here, but this is great. I always wanted to test the 3-way wireless system here. All right, so we're gonna lose some audio for a second, and then we're gonna get back into. So I have to unplug this. This goes in here, and then one in. And now we have one of these. All right, how's the audio? Is the audio working? Let us know, guys. I'm setting up a third audio. All right, so I got a really weird audio setup here. I'm not exactly sure. Can I just see your mic here?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, both. Excellent. All right. So you can just hold that. I can also attach this. Perfect. There you go.
Look at that. Beyonce would
Excellent.
be so proud.
Yeah. All right. So can you guys hear all three of us with equalized audio? I'm gonna keep an eye on the live chat here. We got 3 wireless mics going. I have a 4th potentially to apply
I'm on a
as
live
well.
stream.
And you want a live stream if you want to join us as well. All right. So any final thoughts on Amber before we get Hillary's story here?
No, that's it. I mean, we're gonna enable people anywhere in the world who hold Bitcoin to be able to deposit with Amber and be able to actually participate and use, like, spend the shit money and hold Bitcoin. And in effect, what this will do is this is kind of like a speculative attack on the fiat system. Is that you can actually hold a higher. I think people hear me. Anyway, you can hold a higher balance of your net worth into Bitcoin, and you can still interact with the merchants who are still stuck in the fiat zone.
Yeah, it's interesting. I like the audio level does go higher when I speak, but all right, guys in the live chat, just let us know if the audio is good. All right, Alex, thanks for the update.
Sure.
You're welcome to stick around or hand off the mic. Either way. Hillary, how are
Hi,
you?
I'm great.
All
How are
right,
you?
also finally meeting you.
Yay.
Been chatting
Hello.
on. You've been in some clubhouse groups.
Clubhouse. That's what I do.
So what's your Bitcoin story?
My ex-boyfriend made me get Bitcoin
Okay, how
years
long ago
ago,
was this?
back late 2014, 2015. I had no idea what it was.
Bitcoin outlasted the boyfriend.
Sure did. He's a gem. He's a gem. We love him. But yeah, he basically said I was terrible at saving money and that he's going to get me a savings account that I couldn't spend. And that's what he did.
Nice. And you held on to that Bitcoin.
Yeah, because I didn't know how to spend it.
Awesome. So what are you up to now?
I just hodl. I still don't spend it. I don't touch it. It just sits there.
And
But
what
I still buy
about?
more.
So are you doing anything in the crypto space? You still have a day job?
No,
you own a business?
I'm in the cosmetics industry. So.
Oh, okay. You have your own products?
No, not mine. No,
Not yet.
no, I don't want my own. No, it's a very simple job I have. I just make people look pretty.
All right. Awesome. Neil?
Come here, Neil. Neil has
Neil,
a more
okay,
fun,
Neil can take
exciting,
All right. I
exciting
gotcha.
story than me. Yeah, you do.
You can just talk into this.
See,
There's
peeps.
a microphone.
Oh, nice.
Go sit down where Alex is sitting. Joan, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
Neil, yeah, no. We were playing some cards last night. Alex, myself,
Yeah,
Neil.
fucked me up.
Yeah, Neil was the ringer last night. I've been playing bad the last couple of games. I gotta, so maybe tonight again, maybe.
You just had a bad run of cards.
Yeah,
Like they were good cards. but
Yeah.
you just didn't hit.
yeah, you saw my cards. Like, you got nice cards, and just nothing was coming out. Anyway, Neil, what are you up to in the crypto space?
So yeah, my story starts back in like 2013. Bought some Bitcoin, didn't know what I was doing, then sold it, and didn't get back in until like 2017. Unfortunately, didn't really understand it and was trading a lot of the shit coins, and then stopped with that once I learned about Bitcoin more in depth, and now I'm a maximalist, and now I'm here. And I also do some work with Swan occasionally, Swan Bitcoin. So yeah,
All right, very cool.
thanks for having me on your stream.
Oh yeah, no, you're welcome. You're welcome. I'm hoping that still waiting for some people that are watching to let us know if the audio is independently good. I know I'm wearing my mic, but I want to make sure all 3 audios work. I was gonna go outside and walk around, show people the view.
I'll put this on.
You could attach this to yourself,
Oh, God.
and you can because this is not exactly meant for a traveling operation. I also have one more mic.
Oh my God.
And we're gonna take the show on the road. We're gonna find a seat outdoors. I'm gonna unplug this. Let me see. Hold on. Now we're going to the light. My battery life will last about 20 minutes because of the double monitor screen.
Hot mics, remember that.
Yeah. You guys are on a hot
Hot
mic,
mic,
and it's
hot mic.
totally wireless. So that's gonna be interesting. All right, I'm gonna actually lock the camera in because otherwise it could go haywire. All right, so
Do you need help? Do you need me to hold
maybe.
something?
No, I think I got it.
Got
But I
it.
kind of also want to watch what I'm doing
Okay.
while holding the camera
Okay.
this way.
Okay.
All right.
long as you go.
And we are off. We are off to show you guys the view and randomly talk to people. All right, until we find a spot to sit. We're going into the light.
Yeah.
All right, guys, this is our awesome hotel. I wanted to stream from up on the balconies. We can actually go through the hotel and go in the balconies. In the meantime, maybe we'll find some other interesting people to interview. Let's go over towards the pool, show you guys the ocean. And we're gonna find a spot. Wow, where did everybody go?
They're eating.
Inside?
Yeah, it's food time. It's
Oh, that's
lunchtime.
no fun. Why aren't they outside?
That's what I want to know. We could eat out here instead
That is
of
a nice
inside.
pool.
I don't know, but let's find out.
Yeah, so this was our lunch. If you guys are hungry.
Yeah, we're gonna eat this. Instead
Oh, there's
of
like a
that.
giant fish
It's
there
a- it's
earlier.
an
How
oyster
are you,
bar.
sir?
Yes, clams and mussels and oysters.
All right, so there you go. There's our view. I'm gonna show you guys the hotel. Ugly really hooked it up for all of us. That's the hotel, and that middle part was our rooftop. We were hanging out there last night. My room was like right under that, those big balconies. So that was great. And then the poker game was taking place right there on that little rooftop on the first floor, and we just completely took over that. So
We got locked out.
it's really, really cool. And yeah, until we got locked out there for a minute. All right, let me get this out of the way. Hold on. All right. All right, how's the audio's good? All right. Hey, there's Ugly. Ugly.
Good
morning, how are you?
afternoon. Hi.
I
we're
remember that
good.
beautiful dress. I
Thank
remember
you.
that.
All right, oh, guys, I need to check that my mics are. Yep, my mics are set. Okay, so let's try this again.
Women are always better.
Yeah, so I need to set this up somewhere. Let's go over there, and I'm gonna, because interviewing by the ocean is cool, but I'm gonna miss all the people. I say we go and I don't know, where's a good place to
In
interview
the
people?
terrace. In the terrace. I'll show you.
All right, we're gonna move and we're gonna do some interviews. It'll be fun. And this event's not over yet. We still have like the Horsepower Ranch to go. Oh. I have to lose my mics again.
They're hearing him do his order now.
Oh yeah. Oh, because he's mic'd up.
Yeah.
Is he on a hot mic?
Yeah. Is there a way to kill it?
Oh, about to lose my audio again. Yes, thank you. We'll sit here. We'll set up the camera. Let us set up the camera. And then we're gonna do the rest of our interviews from here. Hey, Ugly, you're still mic'd up, so keep in mind, don't say anything you shouldn't say at the moment. All right, yeah, you can grab a third chair actually. So third chair to my left. Yeah, the third chair to my left, and I'm gonna. Let's do this. Is the camera gonna be moving around? Hold on. Unlock. All right, beautiful. All right, Ugly. Thank you so much for putting this event together. A Corona. I don't drink beer, but I'll take a tequila. Oh, I got a
Okay.
tequila in my bag. The tequilas that you gave me.
Okay, well, oh, we're live?
We're live. We've
All
been
right.
live. I've been walking
Oh,
around.
wow.
I've been walking around with this camera, and Yeah. So
I'm getting
Good
hyped up
job
for
on-
the adventure tour, man.
yeah, good job
That's
on the
next thing.
conference.
Yeah,
And
I'm
the-
real pleased with it, guys. We had some really good help. Christina and Ernesto.
Well, yeah. Shout out to Christina,
Yeah.
whose family owns this resort.
Well, the
This
lady,
hotel?
her husband is part owner of the resort. He manages one. And of course, Christina's father is gonna, and
Oh,
her brother
yes,
will be
sir.
running the adventure tour with us. I ordered some oysters and some
Oh, you ordered some oysters
Yeah.
and a drink,
and
right?
leg. He needs a shot of tequila.
Herradura añejo. Yellows, con limón.
Yes, sir. Oysters is my gigas or what?
What kind of oysters?
It doesn't matter.
A little bit of
Yeah.
each. Mix up.
Okay.
Yeah, just bring all three, an order of each. There's only six. So get all three, And one of the other, mulag.
I gotta learn Spanish, man. It's killing me out here. Like I want to spend more time here, but not being fluent in Spanish is a nightmare.
That's why my
right.
children and my
Okay,
wife.
so-
speak
Yeah. So I'm actually gonna go get a portable charger so we can keep these interviews going until lunch is over.
All right.
But the floor is yours. Tell
All right.
tell our people more. If anyone else comes up, they have a microphone
All
they
right.
can use. And then I have a fourth microphone in my pocket.
Well, guys, this is the Bitcoin Standard Conference, and it's just amazing. Months ago, I got online, and the domain was
Oh,
there.
wait.
And, you know, it's
Camera's following me.
incredible. We have people from all over the world. I think from India, we've got from Italy and Europe. And, oh, my love. Come here. You guys get on here and do the
Yeah,
show with me. You want to sit in the shade? I'll move over to the sun.
Oh yeah, thank you for hooking up with ivermectin.
You were.
Okay, so she got you the cure, huh?
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about that. What kind of laptop you have? Maybe I
Oh,
can-
it's still
we can
moving
order
around.
one. I'll order it.
Yeah, they're actually kind of hard to get because everyone's been ordering, and so is the
I
camera.
almost ordered one, but we bought all the other equipment for the.
Okay, order one for me and don't bring them. Not only that, because when you need your employees, they were here.
All right. Well, that's what I need is a good technician, and she is.
All right, I just want to make sure that Annalise, you want to sit right here? Just want to make sure that the camera doesn't it stops moving around.
She's getting ready to get in her little pink car out there. She got the Polaris, and
There you go. Hold that.
Guy
I'll be right
Swan
back.
was gonna ride with me because he said he wasn't gonna come. I said, but guy, if I take you for a ride in my car, if you come, I'll take you for a ride in my car. So that's what he's gonna go pick up
Oh,
With,
okay. That's great.
with, any rate. So we got the show. And what do you think about this conference? It's been pretty exciting, hasn't it been? Boy, have we been busy. Woo!
Yeah, so busy. We've been so
What's been
busy,
the
but
best part so far?
look, the best part is see the people enjoying this time, the conference, the company, the food, the place. The place is nice. It's new building. It's so I feel this cozy. People feel cozy.
Comfortable, yeah.
Yep, and that's the thing. And because I was had worry in the beginning, I said, we have a lot of worries, but finally I said, wow, Cristina made good job.
She did a good, and Ernesto's done a great job. The stage surprised you, didn't it?
Yeah, the stage is great.
It's great.
You were
it's
so
great.
worried. You thought I was, what am I spending all this money on? And then I said, well, just wait.
All right, so you guys did an awesome job. So Ugly, what inspired you to do this event?
Well, I think what inspired me most was Bitcoin went from 20,000 to 60,000, which enabled me to do it. I couldn't have done it, and that's the way Bitcoin works. And so, guys, what I teach is I teach HODL, save, and build it. And this is our part of building. My original Bitcoin I purchased for under $100 in 2013. And, of course, we were on motorcycles, arbitraging dollars and pesos, and they shut that down. Then we were doing that before Bitcoin. No, was it after Bitcoin?
When we start with Bitcoin,
We
yeah,
start-
after
I
Bitcoin,
think we were
after
doing it
Bitcoin,
before.
we changed, we
We
made
went, we were doing
some
dollars and
enrichment.
pesos, and then we switched to Bitcoin.
Switch for Bitcoin, yes. I
We-
remember one day we made 3 Bitcoins
Yeah.
when was $500.
But we did a lot of arbitrage between the border, which you can do as long as you're trading with yourself. And we ran a motorcycle so we could run across. Oh, that looks so good.
Oh, good. How you know that he wanted one there?
I ordered it. I don't have a line with it. It's okay. So that's how we did that. And then somewhere along the line, of course, I was a trader. And somewhere along the line, I sent my track record to Tone. I said, I'm in the top 10 at BitMEX for the year. And he said, wow, you sure are. And then I don't know why he trusted me, but he knew my history. And I started some Medium articles, and basically I kept trading, but I wasn't doing very well. And I just blew out of a great big position. I said, I'm going to stop trading and start writing Medium articles. And that's when I wrote blowing out the bottom with a smile. That's what Bitcoin is about, guys. We sponsored this thing, and I'm loving it. I'm going to lose my shirt on it, but it's okay, because that's what Bitcoin does for you. You can do it. It's fuck you money.
Oh yeah. Well, there was a podcast from Hugo, the Fuck You Money podcast from Hugo. So we do have an audience that is familiar with your work. Where do you see the price of Bitcoin? I know you don't like to predict the future, but at a more macro scale, do you see us in a bull market?
Yeah, it's a bull market.
There hasn't been much backwardation or contango.
No,
Everything's been so orderly.
The dynamics of the market changed. I'm hoping, I think, guys, we did this thing where we thought institutional buyers were going to carry this thing. It's not going to be institutional buyers. That's the blip. The whole thing is going to be entrepreneurs, producers. People that produce wealth need Bitcoin because it's the only way you can hold on to it. And Mexico is so rich with these entrepreneurs. They need the Bitcoin and they see it. They'll no longer be dependent on the dollar. And they're getting it one transaction at a time. So to me, the dynamics of the market has changed. Bitcoin is your treasury. That's something that Michael Saylor has taught us. And we actually had a topic on that here. And it's just a
Your lemon.
I'll take the
Sir.
Te traigo una Coca-Cola y un vasito de hielo, por favor, pero no la vacíe.
All right.
That's it.
Curadura, Añejo. That's actually going in there.
Ooh, good.
Yeah, it's a little too
Perfect.
much ice. More ice than I wanted. I probably should have removed the ice first. I'm like eliminating very valuable tequila here, but that's okay. And there's plenty of it around here.
Right.
It's the one thing you're not gonna. The one thing we're not gonna run out of is tequila. I got 4 mics actually, 4 wireless mics, man. So crashing this. Boom. We got 1 more mic right there.
This is an actual mic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're gonna
Yeah,
run
you
the
can
last section.
You can hold this.
I'm super excited.
Beyond Bitcoin.
Or you can take Eunice if you want to sit, or if you want to go, he'll just grab your
Oh,
seat.
yeah, sure. He's gonna
Alright,
say sí.
So we'll I'll take the
He's
mic.
not,
Yeah.
he's
Sure.
not
No,
near
I have
to
this
look
too.
at.
Yeah.
I gotta sit
I
between 2
have
men
mine.
now.
Let me grab the middle seat, ugly, to manage the laptop, and we'll keep chat. What's up?
What laptop is this?
This is the Asus Republic of Gamers gaming laptop with a dual built-in monitor.
Yeah, I was gonna get it, but then we had all this other equipment we needed for the studio. So
All
I said,
right.
I don't need a new laptop.
All right.
yet.
So
I'm ready
now,
to buy.
Just don't buy a Mac. Bitcoin is don't buy a Mac.
yeah. Well,
I don't have Mac.
my principles to end Mac usage started long ago, and yeah, it's too hot in the sun. Actually, the umbrella won't do much. And hold on, let me reset the camera.
Are we on your channel?
We're on my
We're
channel.
on Tom's. Yeah. So Sunday we're gonna do a tour tour him with this. We're gonna go from the ranch
Boom.
to the Bitcoin house and been out since.
All right.
We'll figure
Is
it
it
all
gonna
out.
be moving or what? Yeah.
Just a lot of people, it's the only time we go, oh, here's my friend Flip Flop.
Yeah, but oh man, it's focused on you, man.
You guys can do your thing. I'll just,
Hey,
your audience.
Hey, Flip
Oh,
Flop.
hey.
I need to get my mouse now. Like the problem with this camera is that if you don't have full control, it
I've got a mouse in my bag.
well, no, I have one in there. Oh yeah, that's fine. All right, so mechanic, you've been enjoying Mexico. By the way, did you see the news? Did I message you?
No.
Canada's announcing mandatory vaccines for all public forms of transportation, trains, buses, airlines, everything. Canada is going full tyranny, mandated vaccines for any form of travel.
Well, you know what? My quote for that is quoting. You remember Milo Yiannopoulos, the most like
Yep.
controversial cancel guy ever. He said, "If you're still taking public transportation in your 30s, I want to know how you fucked up." So I'm gonna get a taxi, and I'm not gonna use a vaccine. Obviously, that's just me coping at this point.
No, but they can mandate it for taxis just like airplanes.
They already mandated vaccines for the taxi drivers. I know that because I got one guy in Vancouver who I always use, and he, you know, he's Indian, and they understand that's Indian, not what the Canadians think Indian is, which is native.
Yeah.
So do you
Oh,
feel
Flip
more?
Flop.
Do you
You're
feel
not on
more
camera,
free
but
in the
it's a
car?
microphone if you want to, if you have something to add to the
All right.
discussion.
From India know that vaccine manufacturers aren't just people you trust for no reason, and they've had some real disasters go on in there.
And they keep those completely covered up. Like, you know, children have died, they've been disabled from this stuff.
Back when they discovered, around when HIV was becoming the thing that was known about and understood, there was one huge batch of blood that got infected with it, and the company that had the blood knew about it and deliberately said, "We can't sell this here anymore." So they shipped it off to India, gave like 100,000 people HIV from it, knew exactly what they were doing, never paid any price for it. So
Wow.
it's
I did not know of this story.
yeah, it was one of these things. It was exactly parallel to executives of big tobacco. Like the science was there, people knew about it, but people were still kind of
Yeah,
denying
it was
it.
kinda
Like,
like-
it wasn't quite clear yet, but the
It's like
executives all
Stalin said, you know, one death is a tragedy, 100,000 is a statistic, you know, what the heck?
So yeah, thanks for making me even more depressed before we go back to Canada.
You are going back to Canada?
I have to, but Joyce's 10-year-old daughter.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they got to get more family members out.
Yeah, but she doesn't have a passport right now. We applied for it. So
Yeah, good luck with that. That's the government agency that's supposed to get paid and not work,
yeah,
which they now can.
well, I think
Thanks to the lockdown.
Well, they were working much before, but
Yeah.
now.
faith in the most, we will end up where we need to be. Because like Jacqueline was saying in the debate that it's not Nazi Germany time. It's not like you can just go, Germany's bad, you go to America. Easy. It doesn't work like that. There's no obvious place to work.
No, and this, like I say, I'm still a survival. So I just have one more layer here, you know, and I can always, I get droned at any moment, so.
Yeah.
So, you know, I just want to talk about that a little bit. Because we're podcasting, we are somewhat, we have a big target on our back. And this can be rough. I don't recommend, don't go the route us three are going, let's make that conscious choice.
Yeah, look, you're better off. Like, it's too late for us. We're known public people. But you get that Bitcoin. What was that story? It was a Bitblock boom. I forgot who was doing the presentation. I think it was one of the Unchained Capital guys. And he was saying like the story from back in Germany where this family, they were looking to get out of Germany back in the 40s. And they didn't know how to take their wealth. And their solution was, so we're just going to buy all this platinum wire, as much platinum wire as we can. And they made coat hangers from the platinum wire. So when they were leaving the border, they checked the car and they just found all these clothes on hangers, not realizing that these hangers was basically their life's net worth was the hangers. And they said they could not even tell this to their closest friends and relatives, because if one other person knew, it could destroy their plan on leaving with their wealth. Bitcoin solves this if you keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
Yeah. If they stop you at the border and they know you got a lot of Bitcoin,
Well, there was another story.
And if your friends and family know you have a lot of Bitcoin,
Oh, geez.
you don't know who the rat is.
but remember, with Bitcoin, if you have friends and family in the country you're heading to, they can set up a Bitcoin wallet. You can send your Bitcoin to them in 5 minutes. So you can't do that
Yes.
with platinum. You can't do that.
Yes.
With gold. Bitcoin gets you around it technologically. It doesn't get you around it politically.
Yeah, I'm so happy I went on confiscatable.com. That domain is gonna just
No, it's great. And that's why I teach Bitcoin. Like, when everybody new comes, I say, what do you have that they cannot confiscate? And then that's when the light bulb goes off. This is such a simple way to teach Bitcoin. And
It's the Bitcoin Standard Conference. Like, for me, the main reason the gold standard didn't work out is because there's a technological limitation. Like,
yeah.
right.
Gold, you can't get it across a line.
And I think gold is great for national jurisdiction, but it's not sovereign, it's not international. So it's fine if nations go back to the gold standard. If nations decide to do that, it's legitimate competition. And safety even says, if you want to attack Bitcoin, just go back to the gold standard.
Yeah, I debated him on that a little bit. I don't think that's the best way to really attack Bitcoin. Going back to the gold standard, to me, Bitcoin is two things more important than sound money. To me, it's unconfiscatability and censorship-resistant value transfer. I value those properties more than sound money. And Jimmy and I debated this a little bit, where I could be wrong here. So I'm curious your take on this mechanic. Because we obviously agree, you ain't hard forking Bitcoin. If it's controversial, even like borderline debatable, Bitcoin ain't getting like forked.
It is eventually.
It's not getting forked.
It is eventually.
It can't be. It has to be completely uniform, right? But economic debates are not going to fork Bitcoin. And if Satoshi did not believe in gold, and Satoshi created Bitcoin with the properties, but the infinite inflation, let's say he decided to do 1% inflation forever, it would be very hard to then fork Bitcoin, even with a soft fork, to make it a finite supply. For the same reason, we ain't going to bigger blocks, because the other two properties are too important, and it would cause a hard fork. So I think had Satoshi not gone with a hard money economics, we would be stuck with the very Bitcoin with inflation, because we would not be able to force that big of a controversial change.
You mean to make it deflationary?
Correct.
Yeah.
Had Satoshi had different views on economics,
I mean, you're exactly right. Like,
it would have been a huge challenge to make Bitcoin have 21 million Bitcoin instead of infinite supply. It would have been incredibly difficult.
I completely agree with what you're saying. Bitcoin is, the way it's been designed from the get-go is in a way where it says the hard parts, the socialists and the Marxists and the thieves and the rent seekers, all of them need inflation, all of them need fiat, all of them need the way it does, and you cannot keep them out of the system without having any form of centralization in it. If there's centralization in the system, these come in and make the system work for them as opposed to the way Bitcoin currently works. So that has to be set in stone from the beginning. And it's a complete farce if you're trying to do it after the fact, like Ethereum is trying to do with ultrasound money. It's not ultrasound because it's not about whether you're deflationary for a short time.
Oh, wait, we're having audio problems.
Oh, sorry.
People can't hear anything. Hold on.
I think I got it.
Amazing that you can see, I can't see it. Darn thing.
Yeah.
Hey, guys,
I'm gonna run.
it
Hold
sucks
on.
getting old. And I can run around half my age. The two guys that I met, I can't run circles around. And number one
Yeah.
is Tone, and number two is Jimmy Song. These two
Tone
guys.
the carnivore, man.
Oh, but
He's a carnivore too, and Jimmy's a carnivore. Hey guys, how's the audio?
I
Sound.
Food diet, you know?
No complaint there.
Me too.
All right, audio check, audio check. We're gonna wait. We're gonna wait a minute for the audio people.
What have you got? Price pump. People are saying price pump chart chart.
Better
chart.
now. Okay,
What's
we're
going
back. We're back. Audio's back. Audio's back.
People are getting very
Um,
excited about the
Yeah,
price.
we're just talking.
47.5.
Oh, whoa.
Hey!
All right, I'm gonna take your seat because I need the shade to do the price. So we're gonna slide over a little bit. Yeah, slide down one. It's picking up us. Let me go get them. We're losing. Okay, so
More shade?
hold on. Yeah. Hold on. No. I'm just gonna slide this umbrella over.
Go for it.
Just so I can slide the computer over. Yep, that's good. All right, now, audio's good. Yeah, the camera's picking us up. If you want to jump on that other chair, it'll pick you up as well. But some people like to stay anonymous.
No, this is flip.
I don't know how many thriller agencies watch my channel, man.
Oh, I'm sure.
You know, I love this guy. He's my, like, we hit it off the very first day we met. Like,
Oh yeah.
well, I've known you my whole life.
I know.
Yeah.
I know exactly.
It's such a joy to travel with other Bitcoiners. You just do whatever you want to do.
I know.
And, you know, and I don't know, we're lucky we're alive because we should have died in the desert that one day, shouldn't we?
I know.
We had one bottle of water and you had your flip flop on.
know.
Wait, did you guys?
And we're stupid.
Did you guys get stuck
We
in the
coulda got
desert?
ruined in
Yes.
that way.
All right, so we're. Some people are still complaining about the audio. So,
Okay.
but I kind of.
Are we live?
We are live.
Talking about our desert stories crashing.
Yeah.
Well, that's part of the theme of this.
Let me-
Wrecked but
Wrecked
not
but not
ruined.
ruined, yeah.
That's
but
where that came
we
from.
could have got, well, we knew.
I'm
we
gonna run.
could get-
I'm gonna. You know, I'm gonna run. Get my
Okay.
mouse. You
All
guys keep talking about your desert story.
Okay. All right.
Turn off the
So,
extra
yeah,
mic.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we were just gonna go out and horse around a little bit, drive a little bit on the little Yamaha.
And take a shortcut to go whale watching.
Yeah,
Remember?
we went whale watching later that day. and
Right,
some
whale
of the
shark.
whales, whale sharks. Well, we're having so much fun. Pretty soon, where are we? Oops.
Right.
Well,
Exactly.
how do we, wait a minute. Is this, you know, and then it was like, what if the car breaks down and all you have, we have one bottle of water, you have flip flops and shorts on.
Right.
I have tennis shoes on.
Oh,
Right.
No,
Una más.
but I have a Don Julio Spotto.
the Julio Posado. That's a good choice.
So, agua, por favor. Agua. Gracias. What are you drinking there, senor?
That is Herradura and Yeho.
Nice. Guys are like on holiday or something.
Motorist, have a seat, man.
Hey everyone. So I need a mic, I guess.
Yes, you do. There you go. That's your mic. Okay, so hold on. I had a little bit of a mic issue. I think we should be okay. They all four should be more. Say something.
When do I get you to drive the hog?
Check. We'll see. You gotta be nice to me.
No.
I'll let you drive
Love
my
you long
car.
time.
He definitely qualified.
That's
Yeah.
true. The only conceivable reason I can think of to let you. First of all, you don't know how to ride that motorcycle. It's you can't ride it unless you know how to do it. And if you've never ridden a motorcycle, that's not a beginner
Oh, he's
bike.
ridden a lot of motorcycles.
You know
I let
what?
him ride my adventure bike,
Believe-
my 850
Yeah,
BMW
I drive
adventure bike.
motorcycles. It's not my, you know,
Okay.
I
Yeah.
didn't drive one before I was 55.
That's a 950-pound bike. That's not a. That's not a little
Whoa, that's a
That's
that's
a
a
beast.
heavy
The
beast
beast.
right there.
It is the beast.
Hey guys, so Bitcoin just broke out for an extra $1,000. We hit
Alright.
47 and a half, motorists.
That's awesome. That's great news. That means that we're gonna get a
Scratched out. We hit 47.9.
Okay,
Holy
so we're
moly.
almost, back up to 50. So anytime the price pumps like this, I'm thinking of getting a Citadel on Lake Winnipesaukee in New Hampshire or something like that. You know, getting a whole bunch of miners in the basement for warmth during the winter. So,
Right.
You know,
Wait a minute, didn't they just arrest some guys in New Hampshire in March?
yeah, the Crypto 6. The Crypto 6.
The Crypto 6.
Yeah.
Who are really-
Why want to move to New Hampshire?
Yeah, well, they actually were arrested by the Fed, so it had nothing to do with New Hampshire State.
Well,
law.
no,
It was a federal was a federal.
Man, they sent like the whole SWAT team, man. Like every single armed law enforcement person in New Hampshire went to arrest those guys.
Oh, they have to show that force. I guarantee you they have to. That's part of the game.
Yep.
The real, the
You
real-
know, the thing
Oh,
is,
man,
it's
we're
already- I've already
spiking.
been rock and roll, been there, done that, bring it on. It's no big deal. You have a real advantage being an ugly old Joe.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
motorist, you're not in the stream anymore. Damn it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, we're all on a panel. You're on the panel with me.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Oh.
Standard 19 people, everyone gets to speak for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So do I,
We
I'm
go
supposed
over by an
so
hour.
somebody's gonna monitor that? I think I'm supposed to
So,
moderate that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can moderate it if you want.
Yeah.
I think one golf's supposed to pop it anyway.
Okay, good. So one,
Yeah. Yeah, so I think Bitcoin Mechanic and myself and Juan Galt are going to be on a panel about the politics of Bitcoin standard here in like a couple minutes, but I'll hang
Yeah.
out with you guys for a little bit.
Huge day. So the huge day. So Argentina, the president of Argentina said something about following El Salvador. That would be huge.
That would be smart.
And Argentina is the perfect case.
It's not like Argentina doesn't have any currency problems over the
They
last
have
few
a lot.
decades.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely.
I got a crazy story from Argentina. So I went to the who here has been to the La BitConf before? The Latin American Bitcoin. Oh yeah, Mexico, Colombia. So the year before Colombia, we were in Argentina.
Okay.
And this would have been 2016. And I'm leaving Argentina and I had $80 worth of pesos. I had like, I don't know what it was at the time, like 300 pesos or something, Argentinian pesos. And I'm leaving and it's $80 worth. And I'm like busy, always like hassle. And this is why I always exchange my fiat back to US dollars, right? Had I exchanged those pesos for US dollars at the airport, I would have had $80 today. Right now, those pesos are still sitting in my house and they're worth about 15 bucks.
Right.
That's how much it has fallen since 2015. It's worth about $15 right now, those pesos.
Right.
But if I had converted them to Bitcoin, and it's not like I didn't know about Bitcoin, I was leaving a Bitcoin conference
Right.
that I spoke at. Had I converted to Bitcoin, it would have been 0.2 Bitcoin at the time.
No.
Right now, it's 15 US dollars worth, and it would have been 0.2 Bitcoin had I converted them to Bitcoin as I was leaving the conference.
Right.
That's putting yourself on the Bitcoin standard, guys.
Right.
That's how it works.
You got to think in terms of Bitcoin, man. You
Right.
got to do it.
Yep.
It's just incredible, and it's going to get worse, not better. So
Absolutely.
you were asking me to, yes, I said it I missed the move from 20 to 50,000. Oh, my seafood. All right.
All right. The oysters are here.
There's some clams or-
Ah.
Here we go.
Okay, so oysters. Basically, I loaded up my house. Oh wow, is it clams?
No, they're mulucca or something.
Oh,
They
wow.
look good, though.
Hold on, we're gonna zoom the camera in right now. You guys gotta see this on. Let me see if I can do this remotely. So first thing we gotta do is we gotta end screen share. Look, price is doing great. My high is about $50,000. That's all you need to know. We're gonna zoom the camera in. Oh, I'm in the shade. Boom. Camera is zoomed in and zoomed out. Okay, zoom in again. Come on, zoom in. All right, camera zoomed in. It's focused on me. Look at these bad boys right there.
Just the regular old oysters there.
Are they good?
Those are the oysters.
There's some
The
sauces.
problem is, this is an aphrodisiac. I don't know who you're sleeping with today. You sleeping with Bitcoin Motors or?
We're we're in Mexico. I won't have a problem. All right, we're gonna dig into some of this. I'm gonna steal some. Man, this is good. This looks great. So it's always just fresh seafood. All right, we're gonna zoom this out. Zoom
I
out.
don't know what these are, but I'm gonna try.
Boom.
I know. There's literally a panel in the schedule right now, and no one's in the room.
Yeah, not yet.
Everybody's in
Man, that camera's still too far.
Yeah, the thing
Not-
about a Bitcoin conference.
Do me a favor, can you just drag the
This is
camera back a
This
little
is
bit?
run by the participants. They just changed the panel on me. Oh, we're doing.
I want to
good
get
today.
Patrick
Right.
in the shot.
So the COVID one was just,
I didn't know about it.
Perfect.
Somebody said something
That's
about
good.
it. No, I
Yeah,
didn't
that's
know it was
good.
gonna COVID.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah, it's already done. I go, oh, they are
Yeah, that's
gonna
good.
COVID.
Thanks, man. All right. How were these?
These are good. They're really
they're
good.
really good. Never had.
I like these better than the oysters. These are good. Oh,
All right, I'm putting lemon over everything.
yeah, put lemon on it, and that's all you need. I mean, if you want some salsa, you can have it.
No.
What's happening? Baby, how you doing? Free oysters?
It's good.
Oh, okay. Very. You're very.
I'm gonna have
tempting.
one, then we're gonna get back to the
it's very
discussion.
tempting. I know. Exactly. Are you
Yeah.
here at the conference?
Man, look at this.
You're in
Oh.
charge.
Oh,
Who's
that's
running
cool.
the next panel?
One
One
golf,
golf?
nice.
and I'm supposed to be on it.
Oh, this is great.
I don't even know if I can get on the plane in Canada without the vaccine.
Yep.
I mean, when? Are you Canadian?
No, you don't let that salsa away.
Yeah, me too. That's very Canadian of you to say.
What do you say?
He said, I live in Canada. I said, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Just get the vaccine, just the tip of the needle.
Just a tip.
Oh,
kid you
boy.
not, in New Hampshire, outside my house, I found a vaccine card. And I thought like one of my neighbors had left it there, so I left it there. But then like I left it there for like 2 days and it was still there.
Oh, gosh.
Like a empty one or with
No, it
names
was
on it?
filled with the name. So then I just grabbed
Oh,
it
okay.
inside my house somewhere.
Perfect.
But anyway, New Hampshire banned vaccine passports. So I
I'm gonna
guess-
have to sail.
Yeah.
For swim.
That's one reason why I'm moving.
Oh,
to
I got a
Florida.
second one. Oh,
We
beautiful.
can do a workaround.
Oh, you guys are
Excellent.
starting early.
Get them. You're not-
Well, at least I have food early this time.
Right? Jimmy can come up, fly us down to Baja Sur.
I'm a 40-hour pilot from when I was like 20 years old, about 52 years ago or more. So.
Yeah, it's like riding a
They're
bike.
saying we're gonna need vaccines.
We got oysters here.
Oh, I know, I know.
No, but these are not oysters. These are clams. These are something. But
The
oysters
clams are great.
These are great, man.
Hey guys, oysters are one of the healthiest things you can eat. You can look at it as like an elitist, expensive thing, but they're really not. They're like the healthiest things you can do. They have a lot of zinc.
Ice really ruins the tequila. You know that.
Ah,
Canada may be the one place.
I know.
And
So,
because
like,
here in Mexico, you know, it's a kind of the ice is more luxury than the tequila.
I extra añejos. But if it's an añejo or down, I like the ice. But if I go up, like I'll never drink $100 bottle of tequila with ice. I think that one's way overpriced. But just for a reposado too. But yeah, if anyone's ever given me like a family reserve or a selection. No, there'll be no ice in that or wine.
It's like a really expensive single malt scotch. Is you don't drink it with ice, but if it's like a cheap whiskey.
Yeah. All right, price is still pumping. Price is still pumping. All right, I want to get Mr. Jimmy G in here.
Jimmy,
You
want to sit down?
I won't sit down, but probably in the middle here. I'll still eating. Hey, Jimmy.
Come and say hello, man.
Yeah, Juan should have a seat. Give him the mic, Motors.
Yeah,
Sorry. I'm gonna walk away with my.
guys,
Yeah, these wireless are great. I have 4 of them
we're a
going.
Bitcoin Standard Conference, and the agenda changes as we go along.
Yeah.
So, depending upon what the immediate need is. Yeah, next time, I do this again. I mean, you know, well, you just, all we need is an outline and then. But they've had the chance.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's expensive to have a place like this, but another day
I
would be
thought,
nice.
I
You know what I think we should
thought
have? I think we should have a day where we just go on each other's podcasts. 3 days. That's all we do.
Yeah, it's kind of like our life now. Yeah, anyway, this hotel's been great. You pick great venues. Maybe I'll bring one of mine here one day. The problem is we're about an hour and change away from the airport, and that hurts.
Yeah. Well, You haven't been to the studio yet, the Bitcoin house.
Oh,
You
we're
haven't-
going there. We're
you
going there in a
haven't been-
bit. We're going
you
to the
gotta
studio in a
see
bit.
What I might dream of is a Bitcoin Standard Institute.
Hey, which 3 panels you have from here on out? There's 3 panels. Maybe you should combine them into 2.
That'd be fine. Let's shorten this up because
Yeah, we're kind of winging by ear.
Yep.
Hey, Jimmy G, I'd love to get you on the podcast.
Talking now.
Yeah.
Come back here.
Oh,
On
yeah.
it now.
Oh, yeah,
Right here.
yeah,
Yeah,
we're gonna
yeah.
steal your seat.
Okay.
We're gonna switch you a flip flop.
yeah. He just wanted to stay in the shade. He knew he had the chair in the shade.
Exactly.
Now you're in the shade. It's gonna be hard for people to see you,
I can take off
but
my hat.
they'll hear you
Okay.
because you got some fascinating stories. This
Oh,
is Jimmy. Jimmy is awesome. So
And
Jimmy.
he knows the Baja.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know Baja.
Jimmy's down in Baja. Jimmy only eats steak. I was down in by Jimmy, hanging out with him about a month ago. It was a blast. Jimmy has a very severe rheumatoid arthritis.
Yep.
And if only he listened to Jimmy's song and Seyfuddin and myself
Years ago.
10 years earlier. But of course, we were not known back then.
Yeah.
Switching to an all-meat diet really saved your life, didn't it?
Oh, I've been vegan. I've been vegetarian. I've been fruit, vegetables, and juicing, high fiber diet. These have all been free. I mean, the vegan I only did about 8 months. The rest I did 8 years and 5 years. So I know what I'm talking about. The carnivore diet has literally changed me cellularly in no way that any medicine or any food ever did. And being in keto is helping me heal and feel younger every day for 2 years now. I would say maybe 10 days out of the entire year might have been hard, where they weren't great days. That used to be 10 good days out of a year. It's like the exact opposite. I mean, I really had pain all the time. And the amount of pain and inflammation in my total body, it used to just move around, but it was always there. And now I can feel that the amount is dropped immensely. So I'm basically in remission is what they call it. And I'm not active. And I really have, maybe one bad day a month where I could say it's anything close to what it used to be.
Yeah, show them those fingers of yours.
Oh, I know. They're
That's just,
worthless.
That's incredible. And yet you're still not in pain. And
No.
it's just.
I drive, I fly airplanes, I still do things and function. It's just I have to, come up with techniques to open things and turn doors. And, what's that?
No.
That's arthritis.
No.
That's
Yeah,
arthritis.
this attacked me about 29 years ago, I think.
And
It
if
was
you
about 30 years
started eating only meat
ago. Yeah.
within 5 years of getting
I'd still
this,
have my teeth, which
you'd
are now
still have
fake,
everything.
and I'd have my hands. There's no doubt in my mind with the way I have changed. Yeah, I started this 10, 15 years ago. I'd still have my original teeth and I would have my hands. No problem. I know it. And this is the sad thing with the Arthritis Foundation is that they say do not eat red meat. And what I want to sue them, not for money. I want to sue them to make them change their website to say, do not eat red meat if you're going to eat carbs and sugar. But if you want to heal, you might want to try only meat. And I know they won't do it, but that is killing people because I guarantee you, if you try it, I've already got people that have got rheumatoid in Cabo, Mexicans that have heard me and they're like, really? And this woman, this friend of my secretary, she goes by the other day with her hands out, waving them. She's riding a bike and she goes, my hands work, my hands. And she's saving herself because it's early enough.
From a vanity standpoint, you lose body fat. And
Oh,
get
yeah.
more energy.
Oh, yeah. The amount of energy and, people ask me, did I lose? But yeah, I did. And I had excess, but I didn't even do it for that. I did it for, and then you hear about better vision, clears up your eyes from floaters. They went away in 30
Well, how
days.
about the important part? I heard you went from 4 inches to 6 inches.
Yeah.
No, it's 4 to 4.5.
No, but I went from 4 minutes to hours. I'm telling you, young girls are like, what the hell? No, it's an amazing
Hey,
change.
Jimmy, I zoomed in, so maybe if you want to show your hands into the light. And
Okay.
so those are his hands.
As you can see,
And,
they're not, I can hold things, but I have to really be,
Right.
I
And
can't close them or make
how
them
much, how, like you wouldn't be able to do anything right now if you didn't switch to an all-meat diet a few years ago.
Yeah, I mean, well, let me put it. When I met Safety and Tone 2 years ago at Bit Block Boom, this arm, I had to use my other hand to raise it. Now that had happened before, and it can happen for a long time. In this case, it had already been 2 years where I couldn't raise my arm. And in 30 days, I was able to raise my arm and the other arm didn't get sore. See, generally it goes from one to the other. and then it hasn't really transferred. So that's what I mean is it's like healing certain areas and not moving. It's just getting to be less pain and inflammation. So anybody that has a serious illness of any kind, all I can say is look into going into keto and the pure carnivore diet. You don't have to live like that forever necessarily, but if you do what I've done, I'll put it real simple. Okay. My whole family and friends say, I can't believe you do this. And I said, so you're not listening very well, but I'll make it real simple. I tell people all the time, nobody's got a gun to my head making me eat ribeye every day. But if you try to keep me from eating ribeye, I will put a gun to your head. It's not anything that it's not even like it's hard to do. People say, I can't do a diet. This is not a diet to me. My body craves the meat and the fat.
Yeah.
It craves it. And it's medicine. It's like energy. It is not like normal food. I don't eat for entertainment, although I love the flavor of the steak. It doesn't bother me. I've eaten steak pretty much 2 solid years. And I love it. And I want one right now. I mean, it's just like, and I like oysters. I like fish. I like a lot of things, but those are all for entertainment. Because if I eat anything else, chicken, fish, which is still in keto, it just doesn't satisfy you. Because when you're in
chicken's a
keto,
vegetable. We all know that.
you need what you really need is the fat. It's not the protein. Everybody goes protein. No doctor has, I've been talking to a doctor about this. Go, you're right. In all my years of being a nutrition, I've never told anybody they're protein deficient. That's a very rare
guys
thing.
at Samuel's was next door.
Unless you're a vegan. If you're a vegan, you're protein deficient.
I forgot all about it.
I was going to go last night, but nobody wanted to go, so we did steaks here.
Yeah, best steaks around. We wanted to have a
What happened?
there, but
That's what I
You know you're going? All right.
all right.
So, yeah.
Keep up the good work. Keep up the good work.
Oh, yeah, I've got to go get on the panel, in fact.
You're on that one?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm
Oh,
gonna
Jimmy,
talk
you're on a
about my-
panel.
Yeah, I'm going to go talk on my second favorite subject. The
Um,
least favorite is
I
religion.
don't know if I can say the
Second
second one. I don't know if I can
favorite
say
is
that.
The
With
politics
PG,
of Bitcoin.
oh, well, with
all
PG 13 show, I was gonna guess, but
No, I really do not enjoy. I mean, religion to me, God, I've
Well,
no
the reason I put you on that is because you know the politics of Mexico.
right, and I figured that was
That's
part
why
of
I
it,
put you on
and
it.
it's part of what I'm going to talk about.
All right.
Yeah, yeah. I figured that was it. Even Juan and I was like,
No.
"Do you want me to talk about politics about Bitcoin, and like the governance of Bitcoin, or
No,
Bitcoin in politics?"
right.
And that's what you want.
Right. I
And we know
knew, and, you know, Juan was always wanting. I said, no, everybody's on there for different reasons.
Right.
Like he said, well, some people are going to think there is no politics in Bitcoin.
Right. Right.
And then other people are going to.
Oh, there's other people.
But I
Me,
knew.
they're very happy to find out. Most likely, what I see is going to happen. The Bitcoin is going to eliminate religion and politics.
Hey, you got to go. You got to go.
I know.
We can bring you
All right.
on, you know?
hey, Blake, you
All
want to
right.
get on a live stream, talk about ivermectin for a minute?
Sure. All right.
So I just put in an order for $200. That it's $4 a box. So 200 50 boxes times 4 pills, 200 pills. So I'm coming back to the States with 200 pills of ivermectin.
Great.
Floor is yours.
Yeah, I mean, where could I start? The science suggests that it's pretty effective. There have been a lot of studies showing that it's effective. And I think one of the big things is it's been used for 40 years to treat malaria and prevent against malaria. And so it's been issued 4 billion times, and it won the Nobel Prize for Physiology, I think, 10 years ago.
Wait, is ivermectin malaria?
No, it's not malaria, but
not.
it's used for a lot of different purposes.
Bro, I didn't think it was. I mean, the hydrochloroquine was. They're very, very different.
Yeah, that's true. They are different. So from my memory, it has been used for ivermectin, has been used for elephantitis,
the
river
river
blindness, and I
blindness, yeah.
thought it was for malaria, but it's been used for 40 years, and again, won the Nobel Prize for physiology. So it's been well tolerated for that length of time. So there doesn't seem to be any adverse side effects from my research. And then, of course, the upside is that if you get COVID, you can have it on hand. It's a relatively cheap drug here in Mexico.
But it's also used to
$12.
prevent COVID. It doesn't only cure COVID.
Right. Correct.
It doesn't only help cure COVID.
Right.
It's a preventative cure as well if you start taking it once a week ahead of time.
Right. Not even once a week. They say the half-life is over 30 days. And so there's been some, yeah, once a month as a prophylactic. Now, don't quote me on that. I'm gonna, as we're talking, I'll look up some of the websites and some of the information that I can ask Tone to put in the show notes, but also mention it here that the viewers can go and do their own research. And so there's a lot of doctors, from Dr. Drew, Dr. Zelenko, and then this Dr. Corey, and I'll find the notes on that, and I'll kind of.
Yeah, let me
what's this one?
interrupt a little
Yeah,
bit.
go ahead.
Because, my wife has a serious illness.
Right.
And the medical down here, primary is really good. You can go anywhere. There's always a doctor next to a drugstore.
Right.
You don't want to go to the public health, but the private health service here is super fantastic. And there's a work, and it's so much. I mean, I qualify for Social Security, but I do everything down here. So,
Okay.
that's all they can need. All the doctors, they have to work for the government, but they make the money in their private practice.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, and it's a really kind of unique system. And you go to the private practice, everybody, your family can come in the room and visit you. There's all kinds. It just, it's a free market of work.
Yeah.
It really is.
Fantastic. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. So I had an experience this morning that I slightly shared on the, during the question and answer. But I went into one of the stores, pharmacies, to buy ivermectin and get the protocol. And the man behind the counter was a nurse, and he was on the front lines treating COVID with this protocol, ivermectin, and one other drug.
You showed it to me.
Yeah, I showed it to you. So we
Start
can,
with a V.
It's in my notes real quick. I'll
where's my
pull it
phone
up. But the net was that he it's gosh, hold on one second.
My phone. Not something that. Oh, there it is. Yeah, you texted it to me. I'll look it up. Don't worry. Keep going.
So where was the experience this morning? So there's certain countries that are really using ivermectin, and they're having really great results from it. From memory, it's Zimbabwe, Mexico, Argentina, and certain counties or geographical regions, states, I suppose. India is having really great success, and I believe Greece and
Argentina.
Argentina. So in certain states. So those are really great meta-analysis where you're seeing the impacts, and the death per million is much lower, arguably, according to the data, than in Western or areas that are not using ivermectin. So that's very interesting.
Yeah, this is the other drug.
Yeah, exactly. Azithromycin.
Gastronin.
It's spelled very interestingly, but we can share that data in the notes. And then the other thing is if you want to do more research on this, is really well put together, is the FLCCC Alliance. So this is a group of doctors that have put together the information and the science, as well as testimonials from people that have been in the hospital, taken ivermectin protocol, and then it's cured them or helped them, whatever kind of terminology you want to use. And then kind of finishing this story from this morning is that he was showing the studies or the cases that he's solved with his community in his area, and then he has a COVID protocol to help anyone that he knows, and again in his circle of influence. And then his uncle worked at one of the hospitals and gives this protocol out and kind of swears by it. So the Google search trends are going through the roof in certain areas. And it's becoming in high demand. And again, this is a great drug because it's cheap. The risk on the downside is very low. And again, the upside is the science suggests that it's effective, but again, the downside is very, very low, and the upside could be saving your life or keeping you out of the hospital. So I think the risk reward profile is there.
Meanwhile, the risk reward profile for a healthy 40-year-old and under taking a vaccine is the complete opposite of that. And that's what's killing me. And no one is talking about this.
Right. Yeah.
The risks of taking a vaccine for a healthy person like ourselves.
Yeah.
You're in the age where a vaccine is probably less risky, but us.
Right.
And anyone younger than us, like kids, 12-year-old kids.
That's crazy.
I tweeted out a thing today where it was you to give children a vaccine as if you believe in child sacrifice.
But exaggerations, but the risk reward profile, it's somewhere in between, right? And you have to accept that. If you're older, it might make sense to get the vaccine or you have underlying conditions. But then if you're younger, first of all, COVID is not impacting children. Obviously, they're getting sick, but they're not dying. They don't have as many long-term effects. Then you combine that with hydroxychloroquine or ivermectin, mainly ivermectin, and it doesn't make any sense to be
No, but
giving
people don't know about
a
that.
short-
Like
yeah.
I said, the
Yeah.
story. My parents to do everything in my pocket because I'm 3,000 miles away, so it's definitely not this unvaccinated fault. And I'm trying to do everything I can to get them on ivermectin, and all I'm getting is my messaging me with mainstream media articles about how ivermectin is useless.
Right. And more importantly, they're using the argument from authorities. So mainstream articles, but no science. So if it's not working, show me the science. And anyone that the only thing people that are against ivermectin can really say is that we don't know yet, which is the same thing that can be said for the vaccine. So it's if you're making that argument against ivermectin, then you can also make
It's
that
such
you
a
should be
double
using
standard.
yeah, exactly.
It's such in
double
order
standard is a great point.
hydroxychloroquine is such a safe drug that in order for them to demonize it,
Yeah.
they had to do clinical trials
Yeah.
and do 2,000 the legal dose
Yeah,
in
yeah.
order to prove that it doesn't work by
Right.
killing people with it.
Right. Yeah, and then of course that's the science and that's the logic. But then the crazy part is they're taking the debate and the conversations from these doctors off of mainstream media like
They're
LinkedIn.
censoring like crazy.
Censoring on YouTube. At the very least, this conversation, I think, in the risk reward profile argues that it should be debated in a public sphere, or at least on YouTube from these doctors, and not removed. And it's being removed, which is the concerning part.
That's because America no longer exists.
Yeah, in the way it did in the 50s. Yeah, so it's very interesting.
All right, I do need to glance at the price of Bitcoin for 1 second.
Sure, yeah.
People are very distracted by the fact that we are still breaking out. We are about to break $48,000 on the price of Bitcoin. Oh wait, I'm sorry, $47,000. We are at no. Well, you're right. My bad. 48,000. We're about to break. We are at 47.6 right now. The high for the day is at 47,850, and I think we're gonna break it.
All right, I got a little bit to sell about 48, so let's get them up there.
I've got none to sell at 48 or 100 or 200.
I got a cash flow bomb right now.
I've got a fiat mining job. So.
All right. So what's going on? You're gonna round everybody up. You're gonna round everybody up. I want to try to catch a few people as they're walking past my streaming station to get back in the conference room.
All right.
See, this is the challenge in doing events at a beautiful destination. No one wants to go in the conference room.
That's.
Oh yeah, thank God for Bitcoin.
So we got a pigeon that really loves us.
You want to stand on my lip?
Yeah, we should just put a plate over there and let them go nuts.
Here, you want
my experience about carnivore catching.
Oh, they can't hear you, but I have a mic for you if you can catch it.
So, just to continue on the last topic, just from my experience, I was at an event, it's not important which one, and 3 people caught the vid. Myself, a carnivore, similar to Mr. Tone here, and then, and actually he was older than me. This carnivore was
in his 60s.
In his 60s, okay, but he had no body fat, very healthy man. I'm semi-healthy, okay, and then a gentleman in his 70s that actually had medical conditions caught it. Well, he ended up dying, you guys, at the where we were at. But my friend, the carnivore, in his 60s, recovered in a little over a week, and he was back in the gym and living his life and so on. It took me about a month, and I was still breathing for about another month.
Wow.
I think, and I know a few other carnivores. You had it too, right, Tone?
I had it.
Yeah.
I didn't talk about it publicly while I was having it. Like I'm starting to mention it now. I had it. I can talk about my story, like what I felt. I never lost taste. I never lost smell. I never had a fever. I just couldn't breathe. And
For how long?
interesting. So for about a day and a half, on my right side, dominant, can't breathe, and I had to sleep on my left. And if this happened a year earlier, I would have been in the hospital and probably on a ventilator and probably dead.
Jeez.
But because it happened this year, I knew better and to stay away from that cesspool of death known as the hospital.
Oh yeah.
Right.
You don't wanna go
And I
there.
just went to sleep. I'm like, I know I can't
Same here.
breathe, but I'm a hell of a lot safer going to bed while I can't breathe than
Right.
going into the hospital. So I couldn't breathe on my right side. My right lung stopped functioning. My left lung was maybe at 50% capacity. And like the only way I could sleep was on my left side. And I don't know what the hell I did to fall asleep, but I did something because it was hard.
That's what I did.
I couldn't
one
sneeze. I
night.
couldn't cough. I couldn't. I wake up the next morning. I'm like 50% better. By that evening, 95% better. And then the crazy thing is, the day after that, I'm back to 100%. I'm like, holy shit! I just kicked COVID in 2 days. But then it all repeats on the opposite side of my body. Complete mirror image. Like my right side of my body was sore 4 days ago, and the left side of my body just starts to collapse. And the same thing. 2 days go by, I kicked the whole thing. The entire process took 5 days with one off day in between, and I was good to go. Back to 100%. Never had a fever, never lost smell, never lost taste. And then people still tell me, "Are you sure you had COVID?" I'm like, "No, I had something else during a respiratory virus that I couldn't breathe.
Right.
No, a spider bit me, and it was an allergic reaction."
I had it. I had problems for one night, and that was it. And then I did what you did. I said, well, you know what? If I wake up, I wake up. If I don't, I don't put in hibernation.
Oh, that's
I
scary.
woke up, and I was tired. I was about 80% for 2 months. That
Right.
yeah,
Right.
I was
Yeah,
about
fatigue.
80% for 2
Me
months.
too. Me too.
And
too.
but that was in that sense, but it was much milder than any flu I've had, except for the breathing.
Right.
Maybe 4 or 5 hours.
Okay.
Well, that's something that from my research, the organization, the FLCCC Alliance, they have a long COVID protocol as well. I don't know how effective it is, but that I believe uses ivermectin as well. So just so people are aware of that.
And I did take all the
Oh, you did
zinc and all that.
Okay.
And
Oh, yeah.
And my
that-
my wife she went down. She was on oxygen. She was doing breathing. I almost lost her. She was.
Your wife?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. She almost.
What did they do
wouldn't
to
even let me go
help
to
her?
We had a really good doctor that he had the right
Vitamin
protocol.
D, zinc.
Yeah, all the stuff, and she was on breathing
I,
exercises and all that.
ivermectin or no?
She got up, yeah.
Oh, ivermectin. She was on.
I'm pretty sure. You'll have to ask her, but she was. They had her do breathing exercises,
Uh-huh.
and it was hard for her because she almost went. She was almost. Once you go down to a certain point, you're not coming up.
Right.
She was on that wavering.
What? Well, first of all, I just want to say that again, from my research, I'm not a doctor, so PSA. But
He just plays one on TV.
I just play the one on Tone's podcast.
Dude,
YouTube
at this,
channel.
no, at this point, like I'm going to a doctor for an X-ray, but I don't want your fucking opinion.
Yeah.
Like, give me the X-ray, and I will figure it out on my own at this point. Like, this is how much I distrust that ridiculous profession now.
So one of the thing with and why this is so important to do your research now is because it really is extremely important to get on it early. If you take ivermectin early, first symptoms or prophylactic, again as a preventative, it'll minimize the issue. But if you let it fester and you try to fight it, and then you try to go to a doctor and they tell you not to do anything because you don't need to go to the emergency room yet, then you go to the emergency room. Arguably, it's too late, or they can do a lot less to
The
impact that.
doctor was trying to come to the conference, and we were going to have him on. I took him to COVID now because he's really good.
Okay.
He has all kinds of emergencies.
Yeah, I know people are telling me you can go in and take an antibody test. I don't want to go and get registered. Like the worst thing is if I catch COVID,
right,
I want to stay in my freaking house and isolate. Because if I go in and they test me positive for COVID, it's like all the alarms go off. I'm on every fucking list. I can't do shit. Like, no, I have no interest in going into a place to get my name on a registry to do an antibody test because that is like I'm not interested in that. Like, I know what I had, I know that I fought it, and I was careful. I tested myself with my own kit. Out of the self-test kits that are actually legal to fly back to the US with. I've been tested negative for COVID like 4 or 5 times since that incident, and I do not care to provide my medical information to some minimum wage high school dropout.
Right.
He just provides it to Bitcoiners when asked.
Thank God for Bitcoin.
So tell us more about, you know, what happened, like what the protocol was. When was this, and what protocol were they implementing here in Ensenada for your wife?
Right after Christmas.
Okay.
Right during the Christmas
Okay, the
holiday.
spike in Christmas.
Yeah, and her doctor was right on it because of her condition.
Okay.
She has serious health.
Okay. Okay.
And we knew she was a high risk person.
She was high risk.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
We knew that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and actually, this doctor had a doctor friend that diagnosed but didn't do anything, and he did die from it.
Doctor died.
Doctor died, didn't do anything.
But he didn't do anything. Yeah. Yeah.
Because he just thought it was the flu, wound up dying from it. So this doctor, anyway, she went through serious protocol. We were able to get. I mean, we had oxygen tank. After she was done with the oxygen tank, we went to 3 or 4 other people.
Well, if they're doing the
Yeah,
oxygen
it-
tank, it doesn't sound like that they're probably giving him ivermectin yet, because ivermectin
Oh,
in Mexico, from my understanding, wasn't popular until January, February.
You
Work,
good?
they can kind of make it worse. So maybe they weren't giving. She was
I don't know
okay.
the protocol.
Okay.
She watches over me.
Okay.
She, I don't see doctors unless she forces me.
Okay.
I'm
Got it.
fine.
Yeah.
If, they have to drag me to the doctor.
Well,
Same here.
we'll follow up. I'll definitely give Tone all the links, and I'd love to see what she took.
I'll tell you anything. You're gonna be here for the
Yeah, the ATV. Yeah.
I didn't know you before today.
Yeah. Well, now you do.
Yeah,
You're
shoot over
lucky.
that document and put it up as a Google Drive, a Google document that you can always edit.
Yeah.
And then I'll just throw the link to the Google Drive that you edit with the latest information on ivermectin and all the research.
Her doctor might be here for tomorrow.
So
that's great.
what we're gonna do is
I'd love to talk to a doctor that actually gets it, which is
share out, and you can add the comments to it. And if you research or some type of science that shows that it is effective or it isn't effective, we'd love to see it, because what we're trying to do is find the truth here. And I'll share that document with Tone and.
So it isn't a light though.
What?
No, I was just telling him. No, go ahead.
Yeah, no, and if you've got any comments, or if you're a doctor, we'd love to see that data. But again, no insulting comments, or feel free to put them in there. But we're looking for the science and the reasoning why that is not effective, risk reward profile. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna have any more of that. I only had 1 beer. And that's
I can actually drink tequila like all night. It's actually incredible, but not Blanco. That's the thing, man. I was the other day. It was back in California.
Bitcoin. What do you guys have? Do you have any thoughts on that, or would you want to talk about
Can you
that?
repeat the question because we actually lost audio?
Yeah.
Like my internet connection went down a bit, so just repeat the question.
Yeah, great. So the question is, what do you think the total addressable market of Bitcoin is? In other words, one thought process is we've got
scary huge, man.
It is
It's
scary
huge because, like, I always have this like back and forth view on land and property.
Right.
Because on the one hand, I know it's not my property.
Yeah.
And a government can always take it back.
Or
Another
tax it.
government can take over. If you own land in one of the 14 former Soviet Union republics, Putin is coming for you.
Or China.
If you loan China,
Cuba.
once they get Taiwan, and once they get Hong Kong, I think Singapore is next. And what Singapore has been doing with their lockdowns, all the Westerners that still believe in freedom are fucking gone.
Yeah.
They're all gone out of Singapore. So Singapore is totally fucked because when China is done with Taiwan and Hong Kong, Singapore is next. And once they have Singapore, Taiwan, and Hong Kong, everything in between is going to be China.
So what you're saying is that because Bitcoin is a better property than the real estate in very expensive areas like Singapore and Hong Kong, that it can take at least a big fraction of the real estate demand, where you'd be silly, especially being a Singaporean or a Hong Konger, to really keep most of your wealth in real estate because it can be taken, especially in those countries where the real estate is
you can't really
extremely
get real
expensive.
estate there, right?
I had the pleasure of having 24 hours just with Canute and I.
Yeah.
And he was
Canute's
the one-
great.
Oh,
I'm glad I
man.
met him.
And he was the one that says, the stock and flow model, that's bearish.
Yeah, I agree.
and I go, wow, that was the first time I heard that one.
Yeah.
No. It's better, but it's like sporadically. Like I don't know. I like Plan B, but like I can't trust in the stock flow model other than a 5-year macro outlook. But the point is, I have this weird relationship with real estate. On the one hand, like I go visit places, like, wow, I would love to own a place here.
Right.
Or like I hear people buying islands. Wow, I would love to own an island off the coast of Greece. I was just spending a bunch of time with guys that own an island off the coast of Haiti. I'm actually going to be working with them.
Right.
I want to like help build Haiti. But on the other hand, I know Bill Gates owns an island off the coast of Zanzibar because I saw it with my eyes. And I'm like, I really hate Bill Gates. But on the other hand, Bitcoin's gonna wreck the real estate market.
Right.
It's gonna wreck the collector market. It's gonna wreck precious art. It's gonna wreck precious wine unless you're gonna drink it. It's gonna destroy everything. No company will ever buy their own stock back going forward. Like like the value of Bitcoin as a store of value is going to destroy everything. Sorry, I saw a tweet the other day with a person with like a hole in their socks.
Yeah.
And they're like, if your socks don't look like this, you haven't been hodling enough. And it was a funny tweet.
Yeah.
And I went back in time, like to the points in my life where I was literally the equivalent of a broke bum to save every Satoshi.
Totally.
And that goes back to 2015. And I remember this. I don't know if I want to.
remember you back then.
No. You barely remember. But it was at a point in my life, right? And I was already trading. I was making some money trading. And I had some bad investments. And I quit my job in early 2015, and the Bitcoin market stayed down. And I had, I had like this weird like health, like it wasn't even like a health issue, right? But like it was at a time where I stupidly lost my $100,000+ job. I was not prepared to lose it that quickly, and it's because I was an idiot. I go to my company. And like I've been there for a while, and I thought that I was important to the company.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, I want to transition out over the next 6 months. Salary as I transition out, and literally the boss is like, all right, I see what you're looking at. Let's have a chat, in a couple of days. And I thought they were gonna come back to me and try to convince me to stay with more money, and instead they're like, yeah, we decided we're gonna let you go in a week. Like,
Oh,
like,
wow.
oh, fuck me. Like, I wasn't ready for that.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
had a business that just like was killing. Like, I was basically like down to like my last few Satoshis. And I shit you not, I was like at family like dinners. This is a guy that was making $100,000+. And I was like at family dinners trying to take as much food back to my apartment as possible. Like after the dinner with like the leftovers.
Yeah.
And like my mom literally came up to me and she's like, the fuck are you doing?
Right. Hey, I lived out of a camper for 5 years.
This guy's got a great
A
story.
Vietnamese
Oh,
camper for 5 years, living like a broke homeless guy, putting all the extra money I could into Bitcoin.
Yeah, so we all got stories where we looked like complete, like some of us. Some people just decide to scam and create a shitcoin and go instantly into 10 million, right? But other people, like every Bitcoiner, true Bitcoiner that never wavered has a story that made him look like he's on the verge of living in a cardboard box.
I still do have
Just to get where we are. And then, you know what pisses me off? And then the troll assholes on Twitter and YouTube have the balls to call us lucky.
yeah.
You go live in a camper for 5 years.
Don't look. I'm going to take issue with collectibles. There's an
Yeah,
exception.
let's hear it.
Bitcoin collectibles. Anything Bitcoin that's being assembled. We are writing history, guys.
Oh, totally. I think it's interesting to think that this. Good.
So you can say Bitcoin collectible,
Yeah.
and they're going to be just fine.
Yeah.
And I also
Nope, I disagree. Yeah, if you have one of the original error Cassatius coins, what a terrible investment that was.
Yeah, it has to be compared to
I agree.
Bitcoin always.
Well, what I paid two. Are the only worth it? How much of a premium do they go now for? Over
Almost none.
almost none.
What premium do you have?
Yeah, I think you got paid double 2x.
You got off lucky.
2x.
I'm not gonna throw. I'm gonna stop
I
talking.
paid like
here.
$500. You know, for my prestigious one was like 200. So
Oh, there you go.
the but the other thing is too.
That's interesting.
I think that
Blockchain, but on like the lean and the kind of pretty dynamics or whatever you want to call it, being with the government, it'd be interesting if it was with a private entity like Bitcoin, where it'd be easy and more liquid to buy real estate in Hong Kong because Binance is selling it, and it'd make it a real global market, and it'd be right there in a very more liquid
I've never been
free
a
market
real
type.
estate guy just
Yeah.
'cause I'm not a fixer, and except for a home, like to live,
Yeah.
really never been. Well, I know a lot of people that are. It's really good, but you buy right. And you have to know how to buy. You make it real estate. You have to buy right.
Yeah, and I used to teach commercial real estate investment.
Right. Took a seminar class. He's got a unique story. Absolutely. And then what you had to do to keep your because you have to keep.
Gracias. Oh, you know what I forgot? I have
Well, I probably ought to go. It's in my conference.
Platinos, plantains, maduros, tostones, tostadas. Tostadas.
And yellow. Yeah.
Where's my microphone? I'll leave it
Yeah,
here.
tostadas. Your microphone is right there. All right, you got to go back in. You got to rile the troops up. You got to get everybody in.
Hey, thank you for having
Oh,
me.
the guacamole looks incredible, guys. If only you can see it. Oh, wait, ugly. Wait. Oh, crap.
Later.
The camera is zoomed in on ugly. I gotta stop it.
What do you do? Track?
No, my camera tracks, right? But I
wow.
can't control which person it tracks. So it kind of randomly selects a person to track.
Oh,
And right now it's tracking you. So I have to
Oh.
manually lock the camera in and manually adjust it
okay.
because I'm clearly not important to the camera.
Ah,
That's a cool
camera's
feature.
all. I've seen that guy before.
All right, I'm putting my guacamole in the shade. I'm gonna wait for my tostones. Man, I gotta learn Spanish.
So, just to go back to your point, Tone, about, these guys must be lucky. No,
No,
these
we're not.
guys made a conscious choice
Right.
and sacrifice.
Let me tell you who's lucky. Any Bitcoiner that became a shitcoiner. That's who's lucky. Roger Ver, Eric Voorhees, anyone else that ended up being a shitcoiner, those are the assholes that got lucky.
Right. Everybody else put in sacrifice. Made choices. That's one of the visual, the audio, the kinesthetic, the face-to-face. And it helps the light bulb go on. It gives you further conviction. And then you have to, of course, take a hand down by the river for a minute.
Right. Right.
If you're really serious. Selling the cat, selling the used car. I actually was living in an RV before I bought my RV park, in an RV. On the
You
street.
showed me your account.
Yeah.
So
One of my
this
accounts.
isn't, one of the accounts, right?
Yeah.
So this is awesome that you actually like lived like homeless
Yeah.
in order to get to where you are.
Yeah.
Well,
I was homeless after the banking crash of 08, and I lived in an RV, like a hippie van RV on the streets. For a couple years, and the cops would hassle you because, right, you get profiled. You're driving a beat up old van RV, right? They want to knock on your door all the time. But you know what I did later when I was done living in that RV, and I ended up buying my own RV park, but that's another story. I just want to tell you what I did with my RV. I sold it for Bitcoin. And I sold all the extra stuff I could get for Bitcoin. So I made sacrifices. I got a friend, for example. Here's an example. I love my friend, but he likes to collect toys, and he's still working at JOB. But he's got 4 motorcycles. He doesn't ride any of them. Maybe one once in a while. And I'm like, dude, sell the Harley. It's a piece of shit. Sorry, Harley, guys. Sell the Harley. You don't ride that thing. That's so.
Some collector will buy it.
Some collector will like to buy the Harley, sell that, buy some Bitcoin. Oh yeah. Well, guess how many motorcycles he still has? 4.
Oh, yep.
Oh, I don't have that much money to invest. Dude, you can sell that, that. You're not serious enough about it.
Well, it's the ultimate time preference test, If you realize what this is, you're willing to sacrifice the present for the future because it gives you financial freedom.
Correct. If the light bulb goes off, and that's one of the things, at least the way
I'm gonna keep streaming till my battery dies. You guys go on. I'm gonna take a restroom break. I just gotta mute my mic.
All right.
Otherwise,
Okay.
and I'll be back in a minute.
Okay. So yeah, that's basically it. I'm probably preaching the choir for a lot of you guys, or you wouldn't be watching this. But I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't believe in excuses. I've been homeless twice in my life. Once before the military, as a teenager, and then once later in my 40s. So I don't believe in excuses. I don't. I do believe in reasons. There are reasons things happen, but we also have to look at our part for how we got in that position. Kind of like Tone said, well, gee, I'm going to give these guys 6 months. That was kind of his position. He didn't know it was going to turn around and bite him in the tail, but it turned around to be a blessing in disguise. You got any good stories, Mike?
I got a lot of good stories, but none that include me. I've never had to not have socks or anything like that. Like I'm just a stacking sats type of guy. But I think, I don't have any stories, but I always like to think through the risk reward profile of Bitcoin. And I think that's something that needs to be discussed and refined in the Bitcoin community much more often, because when you realize, as many original Bitcoiners or early on Bitcoiners do, that the risk-free asset is Bitcoin. In other words, it sounds like it's risky because it's a new idea to people and they don't understand what money is. And but money, Bitcoin is the most safe place that you can store your value or your money. And so when you start to compare it to other assets over the last 100 years, bonds, stocks, real estate, and you start to realize that Bitcoin, if Bitcoin was around, 100 years ago, that would have been the safest investment that you could have been confident that if you could go back in time and give your grandparents a choice or have them decide to invest in one asset, the best investment you could recommend from just a safety protocol. If you just had 100 million or $1 million and you're like, we just want to keep this $1 million, Bitcoin is it. And so that's a very important thing to think through, as well as it's safer than money in the bank because banks can freeze your assets, as most people around the world know. So China, India, even in the United States, they can freeze your assets in a bank. Then the other thing to think through, it's usually safer than your fiat currencies. In other words, the US dollar, euros, Argentinian pesos. I think Turkey's going through hyperinflation right now. So if you just have your money in a mattress under your bed and it's $1 million in the currency, it can inflate away. So once you really start to understand that Bitcoin is the safe investment, it's not the risky investment, you start to look at it through that lens and the light bulb starts to turn on for you. And you start to realize not only is the risk very low, sub 5% of it not doing what it's going to do, the upside is extremely high. So you talk to most people, they are predicting $10 million a coin, not true Bitcoiners, like it's a religion, or maybe it is, cult. But you start to do the back of the napkin math and you realize that Bitcoin is a far superior money. There's a $100 trillion currency market out there. That means at the very minimum, Bitcoin is going to take over the currency market. I'm good, thank you. And has at least 100x potential in it. If you throw the bond market in there, that's 350x. If you throw some of the real estate market in there, now you're talking about 450. And now you're starting to kind of get in maybe some of the equity market, some of the other assets out there. So when you look at it through that risk reward profile, I think anyone that hasn't done the research, you have to validate that investment or invalidate that investment hypothesis. So if you're not sitting there looking at this and being like, this guy's full of shit, or he's potentially right, in doing the research, reading the Bitcoin Standard, reading the bullish case for Bitcoin, listening to Greg Foss about the risk profile and how big this market is, I think the smart thing to do is do the research. So at least you can look in the mirror in 5 years and say, I did the research and I made a decision, whether it's for or against this investment hypothesis. But I think every time you peel back the layer, the onion with Bitcoin, you realize it's one of the most safest investments you can make. And also the total addressable market or the upside is bigger than anything you thought of before, combined with the fact that over 2,000 years of monetary evolution in history, the soundest money always wins, and Bitcoin is the soundest money that we've ever had by 1,000x. So you're talking a really good probability of this thing succeeding and it going at 200% annually a year, and it can't go any faster than that, right? Or not much faster than that. It really is breaking the barriers of people's minds to be able to understand it and invest in it. And the protocol is ready for hyper Bitcoinization. It only takes one transaction to put your money into it, and that's it on the blockchain. And of course, there's other ways to scale using PayPal, Cash App, Strike, things of that nature. And so it's a very, very, very interesting thing. So I guess that's my pitch, and that's my point that I'd like to make to the public and the people that are watching, is that you have to do your research. It's the most, because of the numbers that I just mentioned, it is much more important you to do your research on this particular asset class than anything else you can be doing. Stop doing your laundry, stop folding your clothes, stop hanging out with friends, stop buying clothes, sell your RV, figure out, spend time on YouTube, Twitter. Where else is a good spot?
No, there's a panel going on there. Go inside.
Twitter, YouTube, the Bitcoin Standard, the bullish case for
no, it's
Bitcoin.
not for us.
And
for you guys.
If you know Bitcoiners, sit and talk to them. They're willing to educate you. They're willing to give you the path. They're willing to answer any questions that you might have.
Yes. Yes. There's no. I'm saying there's a Bitcoin panel going on there. Go check it out.
Okay, I'll go walk in.
Go hang out.
Say hi to the camera.
He's like, get the fuck out.
No, 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 no. I'm like, there's that conference. Go enjoy.
I didn't even go to Miami conference.
Enjoy.
last
Because
minute.
we're going in there now. We're going in there with you.
Like, answer this question. Is it too late to get in?
Well, the thing you have to think through there is you look at the previous price and most people say they're too late. But that's not the question you should be asking yourself. You should be asking yourself, how much is each Bitcoin worth when it's fully adopted? And if that question is more than the current price, then you should buy it. And if it's not, then you shouldn't. And most people don't answer that question. They just look back 10 years and go, it was $10 10 years ago, therefore I'm too late. That's not the question you have to ask yourself. You have to ask yourself, how much is this asset worth? And when people are saying it's worth $10 million, do a coin, do the math, understand the investment thesis, and then ask yourself if it's too late. If you're talking about buying an asset for 45,000 or 47,000 that's going to be worth $10 million in the future, ask yourself the question, are you too late to buy an asset that's 47 years? So that's the logic that you have to use. You don't look back at the history of it and say, I wish I would have bought it at $1. Everybody wishes they would have bought more at $1. There isn't one Bitcoiner that thinks they would have bought more at $1. But then you also ask the other question, if it were to drop to $1 today, would you buy it? And most people would say, oh no, I wouldn't buy it. So then the next statement is, shut the fuck up.
Exactly.
So I don't want to hear about your whinging anymore.
Exactly.
So that's the question. Are you too late? Think about the investment hypothesis. Is it worth $10 million a coin? Yes or no? Then you're not too late. Is it worth $10 million? No. Right. And here's another thought process. If we're going through hyper Bitcoinization and the Bitcoin is becoming the currency of the world, and you have the last fiat dollar on the planet, and if you can exchange that for one Satoshi, you should do it. Because if you're changing it for one Satoshi, that person that is giving you the Satoshi for $1, the dollar is going to become worthless and you're going to get a Satoshi. Right. So that means that you are trading something that is going to be valueless for something that is going to be valuable. So if you're the last person on the planet with the last dollar on the planet, you need to trade that dollar for the last Satoshi. And that poor son of a bitch who trades you the Satoshi for $1 is the last person to make that trade, which is a poor decision, obviously.
You're trading a liability for an asset.
So no, we're not too late. And really just think about it from the investment thesis. Peel back the onion on risk every time. Is it worth $10 million a coin? And just keep answering that question. What is the risk to Bitcoin? What is the total adjustable market, or how much is the coin worth? And you're going to be good. And you can, but come up with your own assumption. So if you think it's a 50% chance Bitcoin becomes a world reserve currency, and there's a 50% chance that it's worth $5 million a coin, that is still worth the probability of investing a good portion of assets into this particular asset class. And so even if you're not confident either way, you don't have to be absolute. You work in probabilities. Is it 50% chance that it's going to be worth $5 million a coin? Great. It's still worth a considerable investment.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. My mic's on? My mic's on. Let's go inside.
Yeah, let's do it.
We're going to keep the camera rolling.
Okay.
I'm going to try to mic up the panelists.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
And as long as I can keep the stream going, we'll keep it going.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of cooking out here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you need any help moving?
Yes. So most importantly, the guacamole and the chips. That's priority one. This is my charging station.
Do you want to hand me the?
So if you can grab the
what do you want?
camera, yeah, just take the guac,
Okay.
and I will take the laptop.
Okay.
No, that's it. Yes, you can put it on Conrad's room.
I need your signature.
Okay, well, we'll be inside.
Okay.
We're going in there. So just grab us in there.
You want your tag?
Yeah, find us in there.
You
Yeah.
want your tag?
Yes, please. I'll give Conrad money. We'll put on his room. Oh wait, the camera. Let's face the camera forward.
Oh, this is not fit. Oh.
Yeah. Oh no. Yep. Oh, sorry. So you see the Osbot name on the side? Yeah, let's point it towards that. Perfect. And now, put that. Excellent. I'm setting the bill to ugly. Just easier that way, because I'm already checked out.
Do you need help?
Thank you.
Have you heard of Rocco's honey factor? The idea of Rocco's honey factor. It's the concept. It's a concept in AI. It has been called the scariest thought. The scariest thought ever. That will punish the future you for not helping it come into existence. And just the thought of that is scary. But Bitcoin is like the opposite of that. I call it Rocco's honey factor because it rewards everyone that helps it come into the present. And what is people who fight it? There I could be an optimist because it could even reward those people. In a way, around the welcome anyway. If you're attacking Bitcoin and you're not strengthening it, and you get to the middle block, Bitcoin exists, more robust, and you benefit even by the most roundabout fashion, even if it's boring.
Exactly. Fuck you and thank you.
Fuck you.
A lot of people feel that Bitcoin can't benefit. People that don't own Bitcoin can't benefit from it. But I guarantee you over the years, as this goes on, people that are non-winners are going to benefit from the fact that Bitcoin exists. And there's no doubt in my mind it's going to change politics. It's going to change power and distribution of wealth. And that changes the whole.
We're done.
Oh, panel's over? Damn. Missed the whole panel. I'm missing a microphone.
No, I gave you.
I gave you mine.
It's not ugly. It might be on ugly.
No, it's not ugly. It was 1, 2, 3.
I just handed you mine.
Oh boy.
Hey. No.
Nope, not those.
I'll go take a look.
Yeah, can you glance over there? All right, I'm gonna get you guys on for the next panel. Oh, I got it. I got it. Find my fourth microphone. I'm gonna mic up the other panelists and we're just gonna live stream.
Do it.
Where'd you go? Are you on the next panel?
Is this your hood over here?
No, I don't do.
You don't do
Because I have to use for cosmetics. It's my fucking job.
Yeah, we're gonna set up the camera. Oh wait, is this next panel? Can I like mic you guys up for my stream? If you guys can hold this.
No pressure.
In between you. And you guys in between you. If the blue light's not on. Hold that. Oh, it's all good. Do you have water?
Don't.
I think this is sealed.
Branded.
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
Seems a little better than this, I think, because they got the lights pointed on us. It feels. All right. Anybody else coming on the panel?
Joe
I think
is
there's supposed to be
on.
one or two more, but. One or two more? I think. Yeah, Joe.
Oh, Jimmy, yeah. Jimmy Kendall. It's only them.
Jimmy G. You're on the spot?
Yeah.
Joy. Giacomo, can you help me find Joy? Happy birthday. Can you help me find Joy? Joy Sachs. It's the only one I'm missing now. Oh, Zoe, perfect. Got them all.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you're great. Oh, yeah, thank you. Nobody's here.
Hey, Joe.
Joe, they stay here because everybody is scared by me. They are so far away. So it feels just like the terrible teachers going to ask terrible questions. So yeah.
What?
Okay, this one. Yeah. When you are talking, you should
Oh,
be.
no, so you can just,
Yeah.
so you guys can share that. That'd be good. Or just
Okay.
leave it right there. Like that's the microphone. Perfect.
So I don't think I can stay just still like that. So,
You can pass it around.
yeah,
You can pass it to Joe.
you know, I'm Italian. I can stand still. I feel just like a statue right now. Yeah,
There
that's
we go.
way better. Thank you.
This is actually the proper
Yes,
position.
I want already to move.
You know?
Yeah, thank you.
The way to do it.
So I just want just like the anarchy, so I'm going to start probably or wait or
I think we kind of. I think we could just start. Yeah. I think everyone's kind of back to. I saw a rush to the men's room, and everyone from the men's room is back. So.
Amazing. Okay, I'm very happy to be here in this panel with all these guys. And I'm looking forward to this panel because we got second time of creating something so popular. So we are going to explore what I will do at the moment. And I think really the proceedings is many here by others. Parents are going to introduce you and then also want to say that yeah, I think it's so important that I'm 2000 probably one of the most important for writing to business somebody's entrepreneurs, creators, people that really do stuff in the house to serve so that's we are here, Victor, Victor. I'm not sure of that of it happened. So we are going to more into that later. We have Robert, Alan, the creator of Victor and Friends, also entrepreneur. Yeah, the weekends, author of the technology design and shopping more. Chief blockchain officer of System. This is Martin. Twitter and Spencer. Is the CEO of right? And she's a blogger. Was so many things, but I think the most interesting one is the first mentioned approach to your so I think probably we are here right now that we can focus on. So, did you get into Bitcoin? But most importantly, what's the reason why you are staying in Bitcoin, into the Bitcoin spaces right now? So it's a question for all of you because I think it's very important. So let's start for Joy.
So I got into Bitcoin as a result of a trade. I had a friend tell me in 2015, "Yo, this Bitcoin's gonna be the future. Get in on this train." But not just Bitcoin. I got an inside tip on some shitcoin. Anyways, 2 years later, I opened up the account and it had money, like more money than I started with. So that was kind of like, I was like, turning money into more money is something that I can enjoy doing without having to really answer to anyone. And then I just focused a lot of energy in that direction and came out on the right side of history for.
Right. I hope you say thank you to the friend because I mean most of us somebody to thank for.
Well, I'll add one thing. He shitcoined his way to zero.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
so yeah, he lost, but yeah, I became a maximalist like 3 months after just kind of doing my own research. You know?
Yeah, of course. So yeah, it's a selection in the end, but yeah.
Yeah, Robert, with Fred.
Yeah, I love the web series.
Okay, so I was down the libertarian rabbit hole back in 2007. I actually did a little bit of canvassing for Ron Paul in New York. I just moved there, and yeah, Ron Paul is, I think, the only politician I've ever seen speak where I felt he was telling the truth, and really resonated with me. And so that led me then down the libertarian rabbit hole. I started reading books by Rothbard, and ended up working for Peter Schiff for a few years, the infamous Bitcoin hater. But this was before this was before Bitcoin, before I knew about it. So from like 2010 to 2014, I was selling gold and silver, thinking I was doing the Lord's work, helping people, but then realized in 2011, I heard about Bitcoin. Of course, I dismissed it like everyone. And but you know, in my defense, it's hard to see digital scarcity because it hadn't existed prior to Bitcoin, so I didn't understand. But 2013, I started seeing zero hedge articles, of course, about the price increase, and then I finally read the white paper. Quickly went down the rabbit hole and had an epiphany, realizing that gold and silver were going to be obsoleted by Bitcoin. And so I had to quit my day job because I couldn't, in good conscience, sell people an investment that I knew was no longer a good investment. And so I quit in 2014 and started into entrepreneurship. Sadly, I kind of got sucked into the shitcoin direction for a few years there. I was always a Bitcoiner. I always held Bitcoin. So to some degree, I was always into Bitcoin, but you know, I got, I guess, Andreas Antonopoulos was one of my big influences, and you know, he really kind of pushed this multi-coin narrative, and I guess I kind of fell for it, and on the surface it seems somewhat reasonable because you could say, well, there's a market, you know, there's a stock market, and you've got all these companies, so why shouldn't there be all these shit coins? And so I had a project for about 5 years, actually. Sadly, it went that long, but called CoinCube. We did crypto index investing, where we would connect to exchange accounts and automate portfolios for people. And in terms of software development, going to Zurich, Switzerland for an accelerator experience. And but through all that, I you know, living close to the shit that long, finally realized, you know, that I was pursuing a dead end with that project, and again, couldn't in good conscience continue to work on it, so I wound that down. And around that time, my brother approached me with friends, and pretty quickly I felt strongly that it was something to do. He comes from a film and video production background. And so, you know, I knew he had the skills. He's been writing screenplays and scripts from age, I don't know, maybe 15 or 16. So it's really been his life passion. They're talented. And so we started down that path together, and it's been somewhat bumpy ride. Occasionally we've had some issues with, as I think I mentioned yesterday, YouTube basically shadow banning our content. We're going to be relaunching the show. Probably Q1 or Q2 of next year. It's a little hard to say, but we're going to basically redo the entire 8 episodes of the first season and release it all at one time. I've been talking a lot.
No problem.
That's basically the journey.
Yeah, I find very interesting the fact that yeah, from outside sometimes it's just a very easy and direct path, but actually what you just told us that it's there are plenty of other paths and decision and coming back and coming forward. Also something around the shit coins and changing your mind and building is not easy at all. So.
Hi. Yeah, I'm Gabe Higgins. I am the founder of Tampa Bay Bitcoin. So I'm from Tampa. Started the community there in 2014. Discovered in Bitcoin in late 2012. Much like Robert, I was following Ron Paul. So he taught me a lot about economics, the Fed, etc. So when Bitcoin crossed my path, it crossed my two interests with technology and my newfound interest in economics. So started going down the rabbit hole there. Yeah, I was fascinated immediately. Yeah, I didn't buy in when obviously I should have, but it took me a while to understand it, but eventually I did, and now I'm irresponsibly long. So yeah, so but yeah, no. Right now, I'm focused on building my company and building the broader community in the Tampa market, and that's I think getting to the topic here is building the Bitcoin standard. I think really has to come from, like Knut said in the last panel, it comes from each and every one of us putting forth the effort, and I think growing a local community where you are. If you're in the know, you know, I think you have almost a duty or responsibility to do that. So I've taken that very seriously. So I still, after several years, I still run the Bitcoin meetups in Tampa, and really proud that I've been at it for that long.
Something around you, getting this communication. So it's very broad. So
I think we came a little bit I heard one point in 2015. And by 2017, a friend of mine was able to explain quite well. And what fascinated by the time for me was more the philosophical part of the problem. The decentralization that you could not confiscate. That blew my mind more deeply for the part because I could see a force of nature, something that I could relate a lot from Nietzsche. And I just got as deep as I could learn economics and everything. And I was of course, I made my mistakes, I began to see everything. But I was fast enough to realize, okay, the rest is enough. I have something very special. And then I began my important training. And I think the main reason that I still Bitcoin, I cannot find anything better for free. Nothing to get close to.
So that's your reason for staying here in Bitcoin.
And I think trading is still like a part of my life. I had a very difficult learning curve. I think everybody did. But the most important now, I have my health. I can plan my things. I come from Brazil. And back in Brazil, I grew up back in the 80s. We had 6 different currencies at that time. They changed the name, they dropped zeros, put zeros back, making new notes. They got tired of making new notes, so they decided to stamp the notes of the new names. And one beautiful day, the president comes to me and say, the money is confiscated. And that was incredible high for the family. And that memory stick with me. So I think the only way for that to happen again is a real sound mind. And gold cannot offer that. Because gold can give you stable.
You know, trading, I think I'm saying correctly, it should be trading.
Yeah, I'm Victoria. So I'm from here in Mexico. And yeah, I share a similar story as Cesar. Because here in Mexico, we have also a nice currency that happens to drop 3 zeros. And I have a work and manage to save some money. And around 2015, and around 15, but I just couldn't find anybody in my among my friends or anybody that I know that could explain it to me or something, and just pass it. And then later on, at the end of the 2016, I was finding a web and another time, and then this time I just okay, I do all that stuff and just do research and try to understand the thing, and I did it, and then I did the main reason was to protect and save. I have to feel safe, and I remember about the relation. That's the thing that clicks for me. But obviously, as I went down the rabbit hole, obviously I was interested in that. And I was, so later on, I met Audrey, and yeah, I just started to follow again because of my work. I other skill sets. So I just I just want to. I was a bit rough and just practice again. That's why I started to the area. And then it's playing all the
You could buy it, it was too hard to buy, I let it go, then I saw it go to 200 and figured out what the hell is it, and I didn't ever look. 2,500 in 2017, I said, what the hell is this? And it's kind of weird because I read about halfway down to the white paper and I got it, because I've been talking about redistributing systems and breaking up negative farms and ranches since I was a child. It's not natural, it's not right. Monoculture doesn't work in my view, and a lot of things are wrong about this world, and I'm fighting with boomers all my life, people my age. It's really frustrating. So as I got into Bitcoin, I started to really see some freedom. I understood it pretty quickly. When I understood you could decentralize money, I didn't even know you could do it. When I read that and understood it, it was like, wow. I actually got a hold of Bitcoin IRA the next day and flipped out my IRA into Bitcoin. And then 4 weeks later, flipped the rest of it. That was shit that nobody had ever do this. I sold all the gold certificates prior for Bitcoin. And best damn thing I ever did. And that's given me some space. Probably what I did, just so you know, I believe in using IRAs for young people. I've always had an IRA, but unfortunately, you don't get the keys when you work with Bitcoin IRA. So when I sell my Bitcoin, I have to take the cash. It's like a lot of IRAs when they're custody held, which is the proper way to do it, according to IRS. When I did this, there weren't that many accountants out there trying to help people hold their own keys. And they do that with IRAs now. However, they're still with the IRS. When I investigated that, they said, no, we're allowing it, but we may not in the future. And that just made me nervous. I didn't want to go there. I have friends that hold their own keys. They may get themselves in trouble doing that. I don't know. But yeah, that's just one of the things I did. And so I just look at it as kind of my magic bank account. Every time I go to take cash out, there's more money than sit there before, and less Bitcoin, more cash. So it worked out really well. And then I started hodling more. And what I recommend to people, by the way, is much what Ugly talks about. I'm real big on money management, and I'm real big on hodling first. I hodled for 4 years before I started trading again. And so I have no problem, and I have plenty of extra to play with, and I took a very small amount and I built it up, and that's all I play with. But it also helps when you go to build. This is what we've been talking about. You get through this period of 210,000 blocks, 46 months, 4 years, whatever you want to count it. Basically, that's the window where your savings have grown a great deal. And like now, if I make $100 a day in trading, I'm happy because I'm not going to use it for 4 or 5 years. We all know what that will look like in 4 or 5 years. It's not going to be $100. So you don't have to be that, aggressive once you've got to push it. But what I did after that is then I realized I've got a piece of property, and I was planning on selling it and traveling. And then with COVID, I was like, well, I'm not traveling. And then I realized this ranch could be a hell of a citadel. So it's led me down that rabbit hole real fast. I went to Big Black Room last year and I asked some of the guys, showed them a PDF and explained some things. And just with one conversation at breakfast with a few people, it was like, all right, I'm not talking about this again. You mentioned the name, and I will mention it. This is the first time you'll hear this in public. And I'm doing this partly for Ugly because he's done a hell of a bit for my bringing all this together. In this time, it's a tough time. But yeah, I created the idea of Rancho San Satoshi. And I like the name Satoshi. And, okay, so I went and grabbed that name. But more so is what this ranch could become. It's about a little over 1,000 acres, 400 hectares if you're in the meter metric system. We're going to probably pick up a little bit more. But the point is that this ranch, I can donate it to the community. I can make it so that I can put the entire value of that ranch. I don't need a dime out of it. I don't need to make money. And because I do it that way, I do believe I can find other investors that can help us build this. And we're talking about building a real event site, hotel, ranch, mini homes. It's 1,000 acres. It's big enough to be a town. And I'm doing that.
That could be the first Bitcoin citadel.
Yeah.
Coming from
Yeah. And I know of others that are being built that are secret. There are people out there that are building citadels, but they don't want people in. I understand that, but personally, at my age and where I'm at, I have been trying to educate people and help people understand Mother Nature forever. And since I was a child, since I was 18, I wanted to do school for what I said, a summer camp that's 365 days a year for children from 8 to 80. Because when you put older people with younger people, they learn. See, in America, you don't have respect for your elders. In this country, they do. They're raised by their elders, and they have much more respect for the older people. And they're very nice to me as young people. It's like, wow. In America, like, screw your old man. Really? Attitude all the way, but not here. So there's a lot of things about this that, it's just a really good country to do this in. A good state. It's becoming a better place to do it every day. They just, by saying they're not going to have vaccine passports. The president came out the other day and said we're not vaccinating everybody. He does recommend if you're older, you get them and whatnot, but nobody's being forced to do anything in this country. And they just legalize cannabis for growing it for recreational use because they believe it is against a human. You cannot make a plant illegal to grow and just for smoke. So marijuana, peyote, mushroom, all these illegal drugs, they're not drugs, they're plants. And as far as the Mexican Supreme Court's concerned, that's who we were. So personally, I'm finding Mexico has a lot more freedom than I ever had in the country, the land of the free world. Great. I came down here 30 years ago. I love it. I think because I went to Windsor, died, and enjoyed it. So I became American, writer. Very happy with where I'm at. Building this ranch out, we can have a regular people not only live on the ranch, but in the Bahamas area, which is a much nicer area, rural Baja. The thing about Baja Sur is, it's known from here is the same class from the US. And so we're the first state that we have almost no government. No way. If the weather was telling us a million free, so places like that, we can go to communities, most areas, and we can have regular influence on politics, on what things are done, but not through violence. Just like being good people and doing the right thing, which I think most of the people here are all about. So yeah, building on the standard is to me, it's amazing because it's made it where I don't care about anything. I mean, I have enough. It's not like I need more. I grew up as suicidal rich. Okay, I grew up with very rich people around me all the time, and most of them very unhappy. I've always been amazed how I'm much happier, and I'm all around poor people of Mexico. They have a good time with no money at all. And it's different. So it's the same thing with the buildings. And now I've got Mexicans that are helping me do it. The locals are doing it, but other people coming from all over the world. It is absolutely mind-blowing to see how I can get a team of architects, permaculture people from around the world to help me. And just so you know, this entire Citadel is going to be an open source school and events like part of it is Tone's sitting here, but I asked Tone, would you be a part of this? Would you help me out with this? I want to know what kind of venue he wants. What is
Sorry to interrupt you.
Sure.
Open source school, like in the way of teaching, or in the way that you are going to teach open source?
Yeah, it's open source, and everything that we learn in building this Citadel will be made available to anybody that wants to build the Citadel. So that if we're doing rammed earth, we're doing permaculture, we're doing regenerative ranching. I've been working with Untapped Growth for almost a year, which many of you know about, as it's coming up with better ways to ranch. So there's a whole group of people that are already working with me to build this, and as we do this, we're documenting everything. And basically, we share everything that works and what doesn't work. We're getting an education. And there are, like Tony is a certified teacher, and there are plenty of these people are teachers. We may go the route of being actually the school if we want to, but we will be teaching all off-grid living, permaculture, ranching, solar, Bitcoin, of course. And the intention is with an event site, we can bring people into carnivore and teach about Bitcoin, or they come for rammed earth and they learn about carnivore and Bitcoin. You know, my thing I've always joked about, I don't give a damn what you learn, just learn. I'm so tired of people not thinking. I mean, it just, and I know I'm talking to the choir here, but the rest of the population of the world is like, think for yourselves. That's all I want to, you know, and I don't want to tell them what, I've always irritated with schools, by the way, is we teach people what to know. We should teach children how to learn. That's it. Let them learn.
You anticipated a point that was my next question. And it was just what it means for all of you building on the Bitcoin standard. Ugly told us many times, and I agree with him, that we still don't actually know exactly what a Bitcoin standard means. And I think all of you have different nuances in your life, in your projects about what does it mean every day building on the Bitcoin standard. And I mean, it's just what I get from your stories. There are people building services, there are people creating education, there are people creating spaces. And so what's your take on building on the Bitcoin standard?
Thank you. Here. So my take on building on the Bitcoin standards is it's kind of a diverse situation. I feel like there's so much that needs to get done. Obviously, there's a lot of things that need to remain intact. Anonymity needs to grow, though. A lot of things on chain need to be perfected, I feel like. And that's just such a weird journey on a decentralized platform like Bitcoin is, you know, you sacrifice productivity for time, right? So, you know, as far as building on Bitcoin, I think that there's a lot that needs to be done. And even today, with all that being said, the smartest people that I can speak to about Bitcoin regularly say, you know, that Bitcoin is ready for people. It's just that people aren't ready. The Lightning Network grows more channels that are open. You know, use it as a medium of exchange. Use it as a store of value. You know, there's tons of things that Bitcoin is ready to do to serve the world, people of the world. But people aren't really ready to adopt this. So I think in the meantime, you know, the way that my approach with Emily is to make it so that people are spending Bitcoin without even realizing that they're spending Bitcoin. You know, if I hand my Emily card over to my grandma and she swipes it, you know, inserts the card into a card reader at Costco, she's gonna feel like she just used her card. You know, and so I think a big part of what we need to do building on the Bitcoin standard is, of course, technological advancements that, you know, I almost feel like this is a huge understatement. But education of the masses is like also a huge understatement. This is why I believe we're here to educate. We're at PortFest to educate. You know, we have one thing right now, and that's to make sure that people learn about Bitcoin to the best of their ability, to the best of ours. So that's what building on Bitcoin needs to be.
This is work. Guys. Well, I think it's easier today than ever to build with and on top of Bitcoin. And that's very exciting because, you know, back when I first started getting involved in this, I could see somewhat where it was headed, and I could see that Bitcoin was far superior to gold, and it was, you know, the best money that I'd ever seen. But to see how far we've all come in just, you know, about 7 years, I guess it's been now, it's very, very exciting. And I, as much as, you know, yesterday I said, if you have a fiat job, just, you know, do your fiat job and buy Bitcoin. And I think that's probably good advice and some, for a lot of folks probably. I also think if you have a desire to get more involved in Bitcoin and work
in a Bitcoin related project, I would say start and maybe, do it on the side perhaps for a while, see if you can, keep your day job and start something on the side, but get involved. I think what I've found as I've been leaning more into Bitcoin and the community is if you're willing to put time in and put the proof of work. So don't show up with open hands, asking for handouts, asking people to do things for you. But if you are able to contribute to projects, ask where you can be of assistance and really just be humble. The community is there for you. People will open up to you and they will support you. And so I think Bitcoin is a different kind of world. It's a world where you don't just come to the room, with your big bag of cash and tell them what to do. And it's a different kind of way of existing. It's a humbler way of building society where people are known because of what they've done, not because of just having money or some kind of reputation or political clout. And that's a much better world. And so bottom line is, I'm very, very sanguine, very excited about the future of Bitcoin. I'm just humbled to be a part of what we're all building together. And as much as we are individuals and working on our individual projects, we do need a community, and we're building that. And it's just an honor to be part of stuff. Build.
No, that's exactly right. Like I said earlier, everybody has an account. That's something. Just use that and earn Bitcoin. Ask for Bitcoin for doing those service. Add value to where you can. There's many Bitcoin jobs now, so that's again, it's far easier right now to really get involved and even change your career path to be Bitcoin centric than ever before. So that is really exciting to see that grow so fast. Actually, I really wasn't expecting it to grow this big, this fast. Even being irresponsibly long. So that's very that's something that's very bolstering the confidence of what we're doing, what we have been doing for years. But it's going to take more, right? We have more people to reach still, and there's a lot of distractions as well, as we've been discussing this whole weekend. So there's a lot of focus that needs to be driven behind what we're trying to convey to people with how important Bitcoin is. And it is probably the most important thing we could be involved with as far as getting people to see the value proposition, not just in monetary terms, but how important it is to change the fabric of our society from the ground up. And that we can empower the people that have no power now with the current systems, the way they are, the way they're designed, the way they're meant to be, to impoverish people on behalf of the few. So we can change that paradigm, and we should change that paradigm, and we are. But now's the time to double down our efforts and really push forward as hard as we can.
I think we are having an incredible hard time now. Our freedom has been taken piece by piece, more and more. And my family immigrated from Italy to Brazil more than 100 years ago. We had a very hard start. And now I'm the part of the family that came back. And for Bitcoin, there'd be no way for you to transfer your wealth you have in place to another country without the government take a massive chunk of what you have. And so build anything in Bitcoin is not just about you have a solid base, something is incredible, but you have the freedom to turn your wealth into Bitcoin and move without anybody trying to confiscate it or take part of that. And I really appreciate that more and more, especially now about these times that, okay, we don't have the borders in Europe anymore, but we are not free to move. And freedom for business is something essential. So for me, that is something that I really, really appreciate. That I can move now wherever I want, where I want. I can bring with me knowledge, or in my mind, what I conquer, what I build, whatever.
You earn, you can keep what you earn for yourself, for example.
Well, you guys really made a good job explaining all the benefits of the building on the Bitcoin standard. So I wanted to ask for share a little bit of my thinking, something a bit more towards the economics of building over the Bitcoin standard. And it's something I find quite interesting because in this, for example, in the startups world or entrepreneurial world, you have something like you need to provide value to the market in order to be successful in your entrepreneurship. But I find very interesting that you need to provide even kind of an exponential value when you are building on the Bitcoin standard, because, well, for in this period we are in hyper Bitcoinization period, as cannot say this is something personal, but at the same time, there are many Bitcoiners that don't want to spend any of their Bitcoins, and I think services like Stripe are going to help a lot in the space because you can spend your shitty fiat but the producers of value get Bitcoin. So that's, I think, just my insight that I wanted to share with you or share about your thoughts about it. But I just think it adds a lot to the space. And that's my comment.
I've been a big fan of Stripe and Jack before he did this because I know it's coming. I talked to him about it. I've been bugging him to try and get it in Mexico. When I went to El Salvador, I was like, damn it, I almost went down to see him. But the reason that it means so much to me and so much to you is because you live in Latin America, you live in Mexico. What people don't understand is Americans, you guys don't, you've got so many advantages, you don't even realize it on credit cards, banking, everything. Mexicans, for instance, we couldn't get pizza to come here, and that's the exchange for Mexicans. And they're not even here, and they don't care. They want to work with rich Mexicans. They don't care to get billions for billions. They want to work with billionaires. And it's sad because here they don't have access to Bitcoin. It's very hard for them to buy it. They get on exchanges, other ones, but only if they have bank cards or bank account, they don't. So Stripe is a huge onboard because they need to be able to onboard $50, $100 worth, on a regular basis and paid in it. And they're going there. I mean, we know it's coming, and keep saying now it's in Spanish and now it's in El Salvador being tested. So it's on its way, and it doesn't have to be Stripe specific. But the idea is it's Lightning wallets where a lot of people don't understand Lightning. I see the benefit in it because I live in a country that's full of people that don't have access, and this can give them access. Now, I also know this is custodial, and I know it's not the perfect access. And he's working with Visa. And I talked to him about all this, and he said, "Yeah, how to get to 187 countries overnight." I think it's genius. It's not the end, it's the means to the end. And it's the benefit that he recognizes is something we see big down here and all the way south before and going south, it just keeps more. So that's a huge thing for building on Bitcoin is that these poor people can't get started, but if they do, and I have already talked to El Salvador about bringing their surf instructors up to teach people to ranch to surf. I've got people who teach surfing and say, no, I want to hire the guys with Bitcoin and have them then teach the people of Baja about Bitcoin. Because they're going to listen to a brown skin with less money than a white boy any day, right? I mean, I don't blame them. I mean, so it's like, why not use this? And this idea, by the way, with the Citadel building, just so you know, there's another couple here. They're talking about it, building one here in Ensenada. There's also one Baltimore, several in the mainland Mexico. So Mexico is opening up to this idea. There's a lot of Bitcoiners that are starting to find that Mexico might be a good place to jump to. I won't show anybody on any place. I'll just, if you have questions, if you want to know more about why Mexico, or why Baja or whatever, but more than happy to help you answer those questions. But one one of the things I want to point out about this building, and I still don't even, I asked Alex about this and several others here, Giacomo, about, why is it this changes us? Why, how is it changing? Because I am motivated to do something I was not motivated to do 2 or 3 years ago. And it's just the perfect answer. I mean, it just makes all the sense in the world. People are like, you're not gonna, I don't really care, but what I realized was, in talking to the ranchers around Baja, right around my ranch, they go, you're not gonna make any money. It occurred to me, I'm not trying to make any money. Well, what? I go, no, I'm ranching to make the land better and to make food. Wow, was that an eye opener? As I told them that, I realized, oh my God, back to safety and fiat food. We are so busy making this damn worthless money. And to make that worthless money, we will do anything. And that means we are producing food. So what are we producing food for? We're producing money. You see, the ranchers are making money. The farmers are making money. They're not making food in their eyes. So we end up with a shit food. Sorry, I'm a carnivore now, and I want good beef, and that's all there is to it. And it blows my mind that I never realized how bad the world has gotten with this illusion, with this weird money that is being controlled, and then they think they're living a real life of freedom, which is just an illusion, and their food's crap. You really think about it, what have they done? They've just filled the planet with a bunch of sick people. This is not a good thing. I mean, how many people, back to the COVID bit, how many doctors are saying get sunshine, drop the sugar, get healthy, get exercise? None of them. They don't care about your health. They care about making money. This is why Obrador says it's big pharma. We're not going to vax everybody. I'm with them. This is insane. So in a way, Bitcoin is absolutely perfect timing. COVID is an accelerant. It's all working out great. And, I personally happy as can be. And I've known a lot of Bitcoiners the last few years during this COVID that are saying they've had the best couple of years, so have I. So, that's what I love about you guys. Really, we've got to clap for all of us. We've done a hell of a job of going through this, right?
Let me just jump in there and say, I've been sick every winter of my life with a cold, pretty much once or twice every winter, guaranteed. I started carnivore keto, not exactly full carnivore, but in that direction of keto about 1.5 years, 2 years ago. I haven't been sick in 1.5 years. I get sun, I work out, I eat good food, and I have trust, that my creator, I'm a Christian, I believe that God has given us an amazing body, and if we take care of it, it'll take care of us. But that means disconnecting from a lot of what we've been told from doctors, from dietitians, because it's pretty much all garbage. And I can see that, I see Jimmy and his health improving. He looks healthier today than I saw him last at Bitblock Boom. It's amazing.
I actually started Bitblock Boom 2 years ago. I started the carnivore diet. If it doesn't say Demon Tone and all these guys talking about it, so all right, I'll give it a shot. And so this week is 2 weeks. I mean, 2 years exactly. And so I saw him last year. Yeah, and then we got together last year, and I actually with Surfer Jim had my anniversary dinner with him because we started together. But yeah, all these guys doing this, and this is just another thing about Bitcoin. It's amazing that people want to be healthy, and wealthy, then healthy, and then they want to help fix the world.
It's that hierarchy of needs. As we're solving the money, it's
third step of making money to fix the world is something none of my father's friends or boomer friends of mine ever talk about. This is where they're not Bitcoin. This is what gets me is the entire generation I grew up with and people older than me, it was about making that money, and making that money was all it was about. And yet they get to their grave, they get to their deathbed, and they look at you going, what the fuck was that about? Exactly. You put no meaning to your life whatsoever. And I believe that's where the meaning comes from, is it's up to you to put it there. So many people just go through these motions and they keep doing the same game. And yeah, we've got to ignore the game that we've been taught and say, no, verify our own, go look in, find out for yourself. And yeah, and to me, it's the most amazing motivator is that because it's sound money, now I want sound food, now I want a sound body, now I want a sound lifestyle. And that's what this is all. The ranch is about lifestyle. And it's all about helping people learn that life and then share and help people do it other places.
Yeah, exactly. It just like, if we focus only in the end, building on the Bitcoin standard, just like probably only changing the currency or changing something, but actually in the reality, it's just a giant shift. We are building and changing ourselves. We are changing our belief. We are changing the business models. There are so many things that are changing. Thankful to Bitcoin. So I'm looking forward to what is going to happen in the next year. I'm very excited. So, Ugly, do you want to ask something?
I want to thank all you guys.
But it's time to.
Hello, is that working? All
Yeah,
right.
yeah, it is.
Yeah, I want to thank you guys, because this is what it's all about, and, you know, you're not giving songs and Giacomo, who knew, or Tom, or just, you know, the soldiers out there, they're the ones that make it work. I really want to thank you, Jimmy, because you and I know about, we know why we love it. And that's what this is about. We're showing off what we've got here. We're not perfect, but we're proud of it, and these people are hardworking people. They work to they don't have welfare check. They need the thing, and when I hear you talk about, yeah, I think I'm getting lightning, and I think we can hear it. You know, we have 15 people that work for us every week. They're on the big plant there. So hopefully both of all of you going on the adventure tour and horsepower ranch will be a lot of fun. That'll be tomorrow. Sunday, a lot of people want to go see our Bitcoin House studio. We also, I have a sort of Bitcoin speaker used to do it sometime. And they're kind of saying, well, maybe I'm the one that should teach it, but I don't feel qualified to learn Lightning. Because I'm not nut and bolt guy. I'm really in the board or I'm not a teacher. I was a seaster. I was lucky to make seats. So, but anyway, so if you're staying, we're going to try and work it out. So after we have breakfast, we'll probably show you. Don't have everybody to the show, but I'm going to see what we have here. And it's like this whole, you know, I kind of did the outline. A lot of things I didn't do right. And so you guys help me out. This is not my competence. This is a whole new brand. I'm sponsoring. Hopefully next year we'll have we make it. I don't want this to be me. Be you. I don't know how we make that transition. I want to do it. Thank you guys. Thank you.
Can I just comment on Victor's point real quick? So I actually had a bit of an epiphany maybe a year ago before strike happened, and I actually started working on a project that's pretty similar to strike. Realized it was an expensive idea to get off the ground, and so I put it on the back burner. But what I realized is, there's Bitcoin, the asset, and for Westerners, for people who have wealth, people who understand the gold standard, they get it typically pretty quickly, and they hold Bitcoin and they understand, and they have the wealth and the ability to just hold for 2, 3, 4, whatever years minimum. That's easy for some of us. For people in developing countries, such as Mexico, for a lot of the poor folk here, they don't have that option really. I mean, they're living paycheck to paycheck, and so there's Bitcoin the utility, and there's Bitcoin the protocol. And really, what Jack has discovered is we can use this protocol, and obviously Lightning has really been that element that has unlocked this for all of us. But now we can use Bitcoin to transmit value. People don't need to hold Bitcoin the asset. They don't need to deal with the volatility of the price and all of that. They don't need to be onboarded as investors. They can just use this utility to benefit their lives, to make their lives better. And so I think in general, when we think about building on Bitcoin, we need to be thinking about who are we building for and what do they need, not so much what I need. Obviously, sometimes it's good to build something you like and other people use it, but I think as we move forward as a community, we really need to be thinking about people that are not like us, because that's how we're going to reach the rest of the world. It's not building just for ourselves, it's also building for people who have different needs. And so I'm excited to see what Strike has done, and I think there's a lot more in remittances that can be done.
I love you. I love this because I think it's perfect. Concluding with that, we have to think of where we are building for, and that's very important, a basic point. Of course, we are building for ourselves and also for our businesses, but in the end, for the people who are going to benefit from our ideas and our creation. So thank you very much. Time is done, so we have to move. there is another panel, I guess. And thank you again.
Oh, yeah.
Give it to me, microphone. Like that. You did great, you did great. Wait, you want to give it three? Make it big one. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna basically just do a road trip for most of the winter and just come through Mexico. Come down and you driving down.
The cool thing is I've got a
So I can just get an Airbnb.
yeah, good fish.
You're literally in the camera.
Literally in the camera. Right there? Yeah, thank you.
Hey guys. All right, how's the audio now? Yeah, my audio is like all over the place. I'm gonna get banned from YouTube for streaming music. So I'm gonna pause this until the next panel. I know the audio sucks, but we're just hanging out. Yeah, I'm probably gonna stop streaming in a minute. Can't really get the audio down right anyway. All right, guys. I'm gonna call it a day. Thanks for hanging out with us, and see you all on the next one. Maybe we can do a quick look at the charts. Actually, we're still going higher. We have now almost hit 48,000. And it's looking great. Still bullish. Remain bullish. All right, guys. Talk to you all on the next one. Bye, guys.